we are back, and today we're doing a brand new adventure. It is brand new to all of us. We have never played in this game system before, so you're gonna learn as we go ahead. And we're doing Star Trek. Now, I know we've been talking about this for a little while. It is happening, and we couldn't be more excited. We have the incredible Fred Love with us here today at Dancing Dice Theater. He is what we just sort of call an expert. He has written for the Star Trek adventure games for a while. He's written books, but don't listen to me. Let's talk to him. Now we're going to let Fred tell you all about himself and what we're going to be doing today.
All right, thank you. I am so pleased to be here with you running this game today. My name is Fred Love, and I am a game designer, freelance writer, communications professional. I live in Iowa, USA, from the land of Captain James Tiberius Kirk. And today's adventure scenario is going to be an original series era adventure. It is going to piggyback on some of the events that took place in the Year 5 comic book series published by IDW. In fact, I helped to write a supplement for Star Trek Adventures that took a lot of the starships and characters and species life path options from the comic book and adapted them for Star Trek Adventures, put that in a product that's available via PDF that is available now. And so we're going to be using some of those mechanics from that product, the IDW Year 5 supplement, in this scenario tonight. The characters will be taking on the roles of the crew of the U.S.S. Lexington, a Constitution class starship.
Fabulous. Well, I am Gogo Incognito. I will be your host this evening, as I generally am when you watch this show. And we also have the founder of Really Dicey and the director of this show, Manny Ortiz. Manny, you get to play tonight. How fun is that?
It is a lot of fun. Today I'll be playing Lieutenant Commander Vaoret, Chief Engineer for the U.S.S. Lexington. But outside of that, my name is Manny. I am the founder of Really Dicey, founder of Nerd Caliber. I wear a lot of hats, and I'm very happy to be playing today playing a character today, at least.
Manny makes it sound really terrible. He DMs for us often, and he's really great, although we probably do drive him crazy. All right. May, welcome back. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and your character?
Hi, I'm May Beasley. I am playing Captain Moore, the captain of the U.S.S. Lexington. I run the board game Instagram account and TikTok, Amera Trash Talk, where we do all things board games, RPGs, mini painting, generally nerdy stuff. And yeah, that's me.
And don't forget to show off, if you have it, your merch. She has merch. She's fancy. All right. The very, very good looking person down there with the purple hair. Tell us all about yourself and your character, please.
Oh, wait, that's me.
That is you.
Next to you on my screen. So down there, I was just
of course. I'm really good at assuming everybody has the exact same looking screen.
Sorry, guys. Hey, I'm Danny. I'm going to be playing Lieutenant Supren. She is a science officer on the U.S.S. Lexington. And she is a Vulcan, and I'm really excited to play fully against type today because I am usually a cartoon character. So this will be fun.
All right, and we also have a guest with us today. This is Ava's first time here at Dancing Dice Theater, and we want to do our best to impress them. No, we're going to make giant fools of ourselves, as we always do. Anyway, welcome, Ava. Tell us about yourself and your character.
Thank you so much, Gogo. Hi, everyone. It's so lovely to be here. I am playing Lieutenant Commander Jitan today, who is the Lexington's chief medical officer. Outside of that, my name is Ava Dahl, and I am a burlesque performer. I'm also an information security engineer, so it's like I wear a lot of hats and get to do a lot of really nerdy things, both at my jobs and outside of them. So this is just really exciting to me. I'm really excited to be playing Star Trek Adventures today.
You get to learn with us as we go along. So, hi everyone, I am Gogo Incognito, as it says right under my name. You can find me in many places on the internet by typing into your favorite browser, Gogo Incognito. When I'm not being nerdy, I'm still being nerdy. I'm basically a professional glamour nerd. I do a lot of cosplay over on my Instagram, which is Gogo Incognito. I'm also a longtime host over at Nerd Caliber, and I am a radio host on Radio Margaritaville, where I get to talk about babes, beaches, booze, and butts. No, I really do. That's part of my job. It's a great job. So I'm going to be playing Commander Reiter today. He looks like, you know, sort of, I don't know, I'm going to play him like a hardy boy. He loves adventure. He loves it to the point where Commander Reiter is, you know, he's above the Captain Moore, but he's always like, oh no, Captain Moore, you're way too important. I'll go, you know, with the what is it called? Not boarding party, landing party. Anyway, all he wants to do is get out there and have an adventure. He's the guy who has one of those knives that has every little thing on it, and it's with him all the time. And if he likes you, that's probably what he got you for your birthday. So he's here to, you know, he's real smart and stuff, but sometimes he just wants to adventure. So he just sometimes doesn't make the best choices. That's us. So Fred, tell us basically what we're going to be doing today, and also tell our viewers what, you know, basically teach us how to play the game.
Sure. So I know that some of you have not played Star Trek Adventures before, so this will be a newbie-friendly game. And so essentially, my most important rule when I run a game for new players, which I do all the time, simply tell me, if when in doubt, just tell me what you want your character to do, or what your intent is for your character to do. And I can tell you how the mechanics relate to that and what dice need to roll. But at its most basic, this is a 2d20 game, and the 2d20 system is Modiphius's, the publisher's, proprietary system, where the basic resolution mechanic is when you try something, you're going to roll 2 d20s. Well, first you're going to look at your character sheet and derive a target number. That's usually going to be from adding one of your attributes to one of your disciplines. And once you've got that sum, that's your target number. You're then going to roll 2 d20s. And if either of the d20s is equal to or less than your target number, that is 1 success. If both of your d20s are equal to or less than your target number, that is 2 successes. If you roll a natural 1 on either of your dice, that is a critical success, which counts as 2 successes. So I will assign the difficulty number to the task depending on how difficult your task is. And there's going to be a meta currency that we're going to be using tonight called momentum and threat. And you can, as you rack up more successes than you need on tasks, you generate momentum. You can spend momentum to improve the quality of your success. You can use it to kind of buy new information when you're, you know, for instance, scanning with sensors or scanning with a tricorder. You can also use your momentum to buy additional dice to improve your odds of getting more successes on an important task. One other thing I would recommend that everyone do is look at the values on your character sheet. That will give you a sense of who your character is and what your character thinks is important. That can guide you in your role playing. That can also, each of your characters, you all have 1 point of determination. It's called determination in Star Trek Adventures. At any point during the game, if you think one of your values applies to your situation and it's an important role, you can spend your point of determination, and spending that gives you an automatic critical success in addition to whatever you roll on your dice. So if you're in a crisis situation, you think it's really important that you succeed on this task, and you think you've got a value that affects the situation, then go ahead and spend your determination to get those 2 extra successes. Any questions?
You said a lot of things that sound like math, so that's great. What'll basically happen is, as we're playing, we'll probably ask you questions, not just for ourselves, definitely for ourselves, but also for the viewers who are coming into this game new as well. Does any of the cast have any questions?
I have one. You mentioned momentum and then also threat. Was that the other thing you said?
Yes. Threat is my meta currency that I use as the game master. And so I can spend threat to change the situation that your characters are in, usually to make it more dramatic, to make it more challenging. if you roll a natural 20 on any of your dice, that's bad. That's either going to create a complication or that's going to give me threat. I actually start the game with 2 points of threat for each player character. So I start out with 10 points of threat in my pot that I can kind of spend at any time to make the situation more interesting, more dramatic. I am a pretty forgiving game master. I think Star Trek is really about the story and the characters. So I'm not out to put your characters in like impossible situations where you're just going to, get blasted by photon torpedoes and phasers. I use threat as a way to make the story more interesting and more dramatic, akin to what you'd see on an episode of Star Trek.
That's amazing. Maybe not Lower Decks though, I'm guessing, right?
I love Lower Decks, and if you guys want to go for that kind of tone, I'm all for it.
Oh, man. You know what? Let's keep it PG-13 today, and we could absolutely do sometime. It'd be hilarious. Do Star Trek After Dark, Lower Deck style. All right. If that's that, then why don't you get us started, Fred?
Okay, cool. So, one last thing that I would mention is if at any point you've got questions for me, feel free to shout it out. But the most important thing is just get into character and tell me what you want your character to do. And I can tell you how the mechanics work. And Gogo, you mentioned that this sounds like a lot of math. I promise you, it's really not. I'm awful at math and I hate math. So I wouldn't be running this game if it were super complex. It's really more about the fiction, I think. But to get started.
I'm going to be honest with you, Fred. When you started talking about add this to this, I was like, that's fine. I'll just
ask.
Yeah. Yep. All right. We are ready to play.
Cool.
As soon as you are.
Okay. So this scenario I've called Return to Icos. And once again, this is sort of piggybacking on some of the content in the IDW Year 5 supplement that was published a few months ago. And so a quick introduction. The year is 2271. The U.S.S. Enterprise ended her 5-year exploratory mission under Captain Kirk a little over a year ago and has spent the last few months in dry dock undergoing an extensive refit. The U.S.S. Lexington, a long-serving Constitution-class vessel and the Enterprise's sister ship, is scheduled to conclude a similar 5-year mission at the end of this year. And you expect Starfleet to conduct a similar overhaul of your ship when you return to Sector 001, or Earth, in a few months. So you are a veteran crew who has spent the last several years exploring the unknown together. You've established unbreakable bonds, set foot on dozens of distant worlds together, shared countless adventures and probably even a few losses. You're a family. You anticipate the refit of the Lexington to take a year or so, and then you expect to begin a brand new mission aboard this newly upgraded starship that you've come to think of as home over the last 4.5 years. But today, Starfleet Command is about to throw all your plans out the airlock. So we're going to start with scene 1 in the conference room of the U.S.S. Lexington, and all of your characters are seated around a table, and you can hear the warp engines whining. You can maybe feel the vibrations of the warp engines through the deck plates below your feet, and you are gathering for a briefing from Starfleet Command, and you've got a view screen that's turned on at the head of the room that has the United Federation of Planets logo on it. But the briefing has not begun yet. So if anyone would like to introduce your character or explain, what your character is thinking, this would be a great time to do so.
So we have all known each other. Our characters have known each other now for a chunk of years.
About 4.5 years, yes.
4.5 years. All right, we're going to roll with that. Well, Reiter will be sitting back in a chair with his feet propped up on a table, but not in like a gross way, just in he's not actually putting, the bottoms of his shoes on the table, and he's flipping through what would be a space magazine. So it's like a hollow thing, talking that highlights different dangerous and interesting places for lads who are looking for space adventures. So it's basically a very adventure boy kind of thing, adventure person. So that's what he's doing.
Very good. Anybody else?
I'm at the engineer room. I'm just yelling at everyone, telling them that no, we can make this go faster. Play with the dilithium, the rods, the D rods over there, and you fix those components over there, and I don't care if it's not in the manual. Just do what I say. I know what I'm doing, and I just pointing and telling people how to make the ship, more efficient in my eyes.
Yeah, Manny, and you're playing an Andorian, right?
Yes.
Vaoret. So
Yes.
you are down in the engine room, and you are a bit of a taskmaster, telling all of the technicians and engineers how to keep that warp engine running smoothly. Suddenly you realize you're late for this briefing. You were supposed to be in the briefing room 5 minutes ago.
Oh, I tell those under me, like, hey, keep following what I told you to do, and I just run off to the nearest elevator to get there.
Cool. Yep. The camera cuts to Captain Moore.
Lieutenant Jitan, did you make sure that all of the screens are on in the sick bay to make sure any crew members who need to see this meeting are still in attendance?
I make a few adjustments on my, whatever holo pad that I happen to have, just to verify that that is the case. And I say, affirmative, Captain, we have everyone in attendance, even if they are virtual.
Excellent work. Lieutenant Taprine, are we missing anyone that's supposed to be in this meeting room?
Yes. We're missing Lieutenant Commander Vaoret.
Okay. So I'm going to press my little to engineering. I don't know who's going to answer. Boop, 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 boop. Does it ring? I don't know how these things work.
Yeah, so you can. Absolutely. So
it's a space magazine. We're fine.
Okay.
It's assumed that at any point you have access to your phaser, to your tricorder, and your communicator. That's just sort of standard. Unless I tell you otherwise, you always have access to that technology. And a young ensign hears your hail and flips the switch on the wall and says, "Yes, Captain. This is the engine room."
Yes. Has Lieutenant Vaoret left the engine room?
He just did, Captain. It looked like he was in a bit of a hurry.
Oh, okay. Oh, excellent. Thank you. Continue on.
Very good.
Reiter is going to take the holo magazine thing that he's holding, and there's something about volcanoes in space, and there's a civilization that might be underneath there, and it looks really, really dangerous, but very exciting. And he's showing that to Jitan, I'm gonna go there. Next lead, I'm going there.
Jitan is very interested and is actually like, oh, I summered on the moon that was, just outside that planet, and it was really lovely. The cultures there are just unbelievable, just wondrous.
You're gonna have to tell me everything. I'm going, and I'm gonna bring some lava chunks back for everyone.
Captain Moore's gonna walk over and gently I'm gonna put my hand on Commander Reiter's shoulder, and I'm not gonna say anything, just
I'd like to say that Lieutenant Taprine is with the group, but social distancing I like machines more than people, so I am here with the crew, but just 3 or 4 feet next to with a book of Vulcan philosophy that I am peering through, waiting for the meeting to begin.
So yes, of course. So then Reiter is like, do you see this?
We will discuss that at a later date.
You are no fun, man.
You're too much fun.
And at this point, the view screen switches from the logo of the United Federation of Planets to a rather severe-looking, bald Vulcan with kind of a stern look on his face in an admiral's uniform, and begins to take in the crew in front of him, and says, Captain Moore, it is agreeable to be speaking with you and your crew once again. And you recognize this admiral as Admiral Terrell.
Hello, Admiral Terrell. It is great to be speaking with you too. How may we help you?
At this moment, Manny, if you want to enter the room, you can.
Okay. I enter, and I my apologies. We were having we were fixing up the warp propulsion. Forgive my tardiness, and and I quickly sit down.
Just give you a little wink.
Admiral Terrell launches into the briefing, and he says, I have a new mission and objectives for your crew, Captain Moore. And he says, actually, I'm going to turn this briefing over to another Starfleet admiral who has direct experience with the mission at hand. And at that point, he flips a switch on his panel, and the screen jumps to perhaps a familiar face, the current Chief of Starfleet Operations, Admiral James Tiberius Kirk, who's been in this job for roughly a year. And you see that he immediately sort of launches into it. He says, exchanges some pleasantries, but then says, as you likely know, the U.S.S. Enterprise under my command recently finished up a similar 5-year exploratory mission to the one you are currently embarking upon. And your mission is to settle a bit of unfinished business that the Enterprise was not able to clear up. The Enterprise made first contact with a species known as the Icosa, a rather remarkable sea-dwelling species that had begun exploring surrounding space. However, the first contact took a disastrous turn when a misunderstanding caused an outbreak of hostilities between the Icosa leader and the leader of a rival faction of land-dwelling Icosa known as the Lokari. The Enterprise was forced to leave orbit as a full-scale war broke out between these two factions. And you see a look of regret pass over Kirk's face, and he says, this was a grave mistake and perhaps the biggest blemish on the Enterprise's service record. Your mission is to correct that mistake. Ayal, the speaker of the Crest, who is the leader of the Icosa, sent me an emergency request for aid. It appears the Lokari have produced sea-burning weapons that have unleashed an ecological disaster that threatens to render the planet uninhabitable. Ayal was pleading for Starfleet's help. So your objectives are to proceed to the planet Icos at maximum warp, avert the impending ecological disaster, and if you can, negotiate some kind of lasting peace between the Icosa and the Lokari. Do you have any questions? And he opens it up to any of you.
That's all, Captain. Just, go to a planet, stop an impending disaster, and create peace. That's it.
On a day's work when you're the captain of a Constitution-class vessel, Captain Moore, and I know your crew has it in you. I wish I could be out there with you.
Well, thank you for the information. Do you have any other things that we need before we get started on the mission?
Kirk says you can ask him anything about Icos, about the Icosa. He was there. He was the one who conducted the first contact mission.
You mentioned some sort of ecological disaster. Could you give me more specifics?
Yeah, so most of the inhabitants of the planet, the intelligent inhabitants of the planet, live in an aquatic environment in the world's oceans. But a small faction of the Icosa, who call themselves the Lokari, have decided to live completely on land. And they have unleashed what they call sea burners. And these sea burners are chemical weapons that literally burn the oceans continuously. And if it goes on for much longer, it will render the oceans completely uninhabitable for the Icosa.
Are these two different species that live on the same planet?
No, they are one species, simply two factions of a single species who have a very deep philosophical difference. The Icosa believe in fluidity in everything. They actually can change their identity. They can change their name, their appearance, their profession at will. They call it flowing from one identity into another. The Lokari, on the other hand, believe that this fluidity creates chaos, and they live on land where they calcify, which means they can no longer change their appearance or change anything about themselves. Their forms literally harden into sort of a rock-like exterior. But they are one species.
I have a question. Are the Lokari burning the sea to make the Icosa also become Lokari? If there's no water, then they will all calcify? Is that the reason?
That is unknown. It appeared to me, Lieutenant, that Ayal thought that the motivation for the Lokari is to simply annihilate the Icosa.
So we get in there, We save the Icosa, we kick some Lokari butt, and, have a good day.
No, Commander, I'm afraid kicking Lokari butt would not be optimal. If you can, please try to find a way to negotiate a lasting peace between the two factions.
Come now, Commander Reiter. It's always best to lead with diplomacy and then leave the butt kicking to drastic negotiations.
I'll be there.
Do we know when the last time the two leaders spoke civilly?
Kirk says that Ayal informed him that the Chancellor of the Lokari is currently refusing to meet with any of the Icosa leaders of state.
Last question. Do we know if the Lokari are hostile to other, like the Starfleet, anything like that, anybody other than the Icosa?
Yes, it is likely that the Lokari will see Starfleet's presence as hostile. In fact, the Prime Directive would ordinarily dictate that we stay out of this internal conflict, but because Ayal, the leader of the Icosa government, has specifically asked for Starfleet's aid, Starfleet Command has authorized this mission.
Clarifying question. Sea dwelling, under the water, on top of the water?
Under the water. In fact, when we left the planet, the Icosa live on what they refer to as the crest, which is a massive living underwater ecosystem that has some kind of intelligence and some kind of connection to the life force of the planet, but we didn't have enough time to study it in depth.
How soon are we expected to leave?
You are to lay in a course immediately after this briefing is over and make your best possible speed to Icos. The sea burners are currently have been deployed, and the longer it takes for you to deliver aid, the more substantial the damage to the planet's ecosystems will be.
Thank you. Well, then we will end this call as soon as possible. Does anyone else have any pertinent questions before we end the call?
None, Captain.
So at that point, Kirk, and you see that there's almost like a look of regret on his face, but he says, "Good luck, Captain. This is truly one of my biggest regrets as captain of the Enterprise, and I hope that you can correct the mistake that the Enterprise made." And he switches off, and the camera goes back to Admiral Terral, who says, "I have one other item to discuss with you, Captain. At the conclusion of this mission, you are to lay in a course for Sector 001 for the permanent decommissioning and retirement of the U.S.S. Lexington."
Yes, sir.
Permanent?
Yes, Lieutenant. Permanent. Starfleet Command has decided that the era of the Constitution-class starship has reached its end. The ongoing refit of the Enterprise has led our starship design specialist to believe that it's more logical to begin the transition to the next generation of starship class rather than continue to invest in the aging Constitution space frames. And he sort of glances at each one of you through the view screen. "I would encourage all of you to consider the next steps in your careers. I regret to inform you, I cannot guarantee that your crew will be able to remain together. Starfleet Command out." And the screen changes back to the emblem of the United Federation of Planets.
That barbarian! Gonna decommission this ship. You know how many years I spent working on the engineer and the propulsion systems? I slam my hands on the table.
You know, Captain, there is always the option to not decommission it.
I'm not in charge of what happens to this ship. The ship. I'm in charge of what happens to this crew and how we proceed forward. You all have done an amazing job these last 5 years. You will all get letters of recommendation from me, and we don't need to discuss what will happen later until later is here.
I'm just saying, I have your back, whatever you do.
I understand, and I appreciate it. Please don't take my coldness here is a sign that I do not want to keep us together as a crew. Right now, I am thinking through what the next steps should be for everyone. Please know that.
I will be in the engineering room. I will get the ship ready to go as soon as possible. And I get up and head over to my post.
So just to let everyone know so I'm trying to create the sense that this is an episode of Star Trek. So the A plot is what you're doing at ICOS to solve the ecological disaster and the diplomatic problem. The B plot that I've just introduced is what your crew is going to do at the conclusion of this mission when your ship is suddenly decommissioned a few months sooner than you anticipated. So put some thought into how your character responds to that news and what their next steps are after this mission is over. Do they want to stay in Starfleet? Do they want to do something else? Do they want another deep space exploratory mission? Do they want something closer to the core worlds? Think about how your character would approach this kind of this sudden decision.
Was like, Fred just threw that at me and I'm already upset.
We're gonna be split up. Oh no!
I had to remember for a moment that it was Vulcan and not me, because I was like, wait, did you just say decommission? That's my first.
Okay, back in character though. It's just like,
Well, I know you'll do your absolute best for us, Captain. You always do. You always have. So, but if this is going to be our last mission, let's make it one for the books. Pats the wall. Let's give her one last good run. Okay. And if you don't want to retire her, I know a place where we can,
I don't know, but I'll take your word for that. Let's go ahead, gather everyone that we need to create a flight plan. Lieutenant Dupreen, can you gather everyone we'll need together for a flight plan? Lieutenant Jitan, make sure that everybody is safe for possibly hyperspeed and things in the sick bay. I don't want to lose anybody on the way. And then Commander Reiter, I want you to go and think about how we might diplomatically get these two warring factions together.
Yep.
Okay, just like I need you to wrap your head around ending war. That's the adventure here, ending a war.
Okay. All right.
Also, be super excited that we're going to like an underwater colony.
I can't wait.
All right.
I'm on it, Cap.
We are all good. We all know what we're doing.
Excellent. So Captain Moore, as you start doling out these orders, you're sort of engaging with the mission. So I want you to make our first task of the game. So you're going to roll a presence plus command roll as you start to get the ship engaged with this mission and get the crew engaged with the mission. And so I want you to look at your character sheet and add your presence attribute plus your command discipline. And what is that number?
So it's 15. So if I'm playing right, I roll 2 d20s and I want under 15 on both of them, but preferably ones, because ones are 2 successes, right?
Exactly. Yep.
Yay.
So this
I understood a thing.
You nailed it. So this is a difficulty 1 roll.
It was 2 ones. Like they were both a 1.
That is
also these dice might be cursed, because in all the other games I'm supposed to roll high, so these may need to go somewhere. This is beautiful babies.
The perfect game for dice like that. So that was a difficulty. This is perfect. That was a difficulty 1 roll, and you rolled 4 successes. So that's 3 more than what you needed. So you generate 3 points of momentum. So you know exactly, you are in command. You know exactly what to do, how to focus your crew despite this unexpected news. Morale is high. The crew is focused on the mission. So you now have 3 points of momentum that you can, if you want, you can spend one to sort of improve, to create an advantage, to improve what's going on, or you can just sort of bank them so anyone else can use them later. That's your decision.
I think I'm just going to hold on to them. I also feel like I wasted this roll on a level, like I needed a 1. God, dice. That's okay. All right.
Well, you now have that momentum, so it can be used later. So it really wasn't a waste. So you know exactly how to proceed with this mission, and you've got the crew focused and ready to go. So is there anything else you would like to do before we cut scenes and arrive at the planet Icos?
Sit in my captain's chair and drink a glass of tea.
Anyone else? Would anyone else like to have questions or want to attempt anything in preparation for the mission?
Commander Reiter is like, he's got this loyalty that's almost severe, and that includes the loyalty to the Lexington itself. So he is, if he's able to do this, is going to get in touch with that being from that place that he met at the time of that thing, to just see if there might even just be a way to save the old girl and make it look like she was lost in space, and we might have to come home on a different ship.
Yeah, okay, sure. Give me a presence plus command roll. And this is like, making a Starfleet starship disappear is difficult. So this is gonna be like a difficulty 4 roll.
Okay, yeah, okay. At this point, I was just trying to get in touch with the guy from in the place from the thing, but sure. So presence is 9, and then what was the other one?
Command,
okay. And command is 3. So then I take my D20s and I roll 2 of them, correct?
So yes, this is a difficulty 4 roll, which means to be successful, you basically need 2 1s. However, you've got 3 points of momentum. You can cash in that momentum to get 2 extra dice on this roll if you like.
I don't know if I'm going to cash the momentum. I knew this was a shot in the dark kind of thing. I missed it terribly.
Okay. Yeah,
no, that was a 17 and a 19. In another game, that would have done us very well. And today, not so much.
Let me know if any of your D20s roll a 20 as well. Because that's a complication. That will make the story more dramatic as well. But so, Commander Reiter, you go to your quarters and punch in a code to encrypt your transmission, and this shadowy face shows up on your view screen. In fact, it's almost entirely in silhouette. The voice is sort of disguised. And this is a contact you've had for a long time. And the contact says, Commander, you know what you're asking is impossible. Even we can't make a Starfleet Federation Constitution class vessel disappear.
I believe in you. I believe in your talents. I believe in your skills. You know why I had to ask, right?
Your loyalty to your ship is commendable, and we in the organization will keep that in mind. But in order for us to do something like that, of what you're asking, you might need to perform a mission for us. So stay tuned, and perhaps 31 will be in touch later.
All right, thanks.
And the screen goes blank.
And Reiter cares not if he's sent on some weird, shadowy, shady mission. He just wants to save the old girl.
Anybody else?
Oh no, I was also thinking diplomatically about diplomatic stuff.
The captain asked me to prepare the ship to make sure everything is all right. So is there anything I need to do to double check everything's good before we hop into warp drive to do so?
Specifically, what kind of systems or what would you like to check on?
Well, if we're going to have to use warp drive, I would like to make sure that our warp drives, everything is correct and everything is configured, and we're not going to hop somewhere and end up somewhere we don't need to be.
I would imagine that Lieutenant Commander Vaoret has the warp engines in ship shape. Is that right?
Well, funny enough, I come into the engineering room and I yell out just randomly, like, "Oh, hey, he's out of his Vulcan mind!" And I go to my team and I says, "All right, all those specifications I've asked you to do, are they completed?"
Let's see. Give me a presence plus command roll, Manny.
Presence 10.
It's gonna be a difficulty 1.
Okay. Difficulty 1 means one die, or?
So roll your 2 d20s. You just need 1 success.
Okay. 19 and a 5, so I got one success.
Okay. So yes, you storm into engineering and kind of yell at the nearest ensign, and he says, "No, yes, sir. We've implemented all of your specifications. The warp engines are running smoothly, purring like a kitten, sir."
Oh, excellent. We're going to be testing them now because who knows? It looks like nothing is permanent here. You know, one day I'm here, and next day I'm gone. My character doesn't care if they understand what I'm saying or not. All right, get them ready. We're going to use them today. Actually, probably right now. Go to it. You go, 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 go.
Awesome. Yeah, so you can hear the whine of the warp engines maybe raise a few notes as it gets higher and higher as you're squeezing every last ounce of power out of the engines that you can.
Yeah, so Lieutenant Commander Jitan is going to be returning to sickbay and checking in on any patients that happen to be there. So I check in with my second command and just ask, the status of my patients and just, if there is anybody that we're worried about being able to make the trip.
It looks like right now everything is pretty quiet in sickbay. No patients in any real danger. It appears the crew is in good health.
That's good to know. Has anybody come looking perhaps for guidance regarding today's staff meeting and the information therein? Has anybody had any sort of trouble with that?
Yeah, it's totally responsible of you to check on the morale of the crew. It looks like the crew responded well to Captain Moore's orders. It seems that she's gotten the crew to focus on this mission, and so morale is fine at the moment. Even though the news was a bit of a shock, but Captain Moore's got everyone focused on the mission.
That's excellent to hear. Keep up the good work.
Anybody else, or we will cut to the next scene.
I think it's cutscene time. Yep.
Awesome. So the camera cuts to the bridge of the Lexington. Any of you who would like to be present in the scene on the bridge can be, as the ship drops out of warp and you see this beautiful blue-green orb dominating the view screen, and it is the planet Icos. And so you have your mission objectives. It looks like the journey was uneventful. What would you like to do?
I am going to try to get a hold of, is it Eel, the speaker that contacted Starfleet? Am I saying the name right? Eel?
Ayal.
Ayel?
Ayel.
Ayel. Okay, so yes, I would like to contact Ayel, the speaker, to let him, or I guess I don't have pronouns for this being, so let them know that they said they were like, could be fluid, so let them know that we've arrived and ask where they would like us to dock safely, things like that, or we're gonna float and beam down, all that jazz.
Yeah. Captain Moore, as the hailing frequency is open, it's immediately reflected back by some kind of strange interference from the atmosphere. However, there is an automated satellite in orbit of the planet, and it activates upon your arrival. And it answers your hail, actually, with a message, a recording from Ayal, the speaker of the crest. And the message says, "Welcome, Starfleet vessel. Admiral Kirk gave his word he would send help. The circumstances on our planet are dire. You'll find transporters and communications ineffective within the atmosphere of Icos. Please send a shuttle to the attached coordinates, and a contingent of my people will greet you and bring you to me. We are truly grateful for your help in our darkest hour."
Okay.
Did he just say communicators don't work on the planet? Then how is he just communicating with us?
It was a recording. Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's going to be tricky if there's no communicators working.
Yep. Okay. I'm trying to think. What would she do next? What would I do next?
I'm sure the people of the planet have a way to communicate. It might just be that our communicators do not work on this planet.
Yeah. Correct.
Lieutenant T'Pren, if you would like to attempt a sensor scan of the planet to get a better sense of what kind of interference this is, you can certainly try that. Would you like to?
Yes, I would love to.
Okay. So you are going to roll. This is going to be reason plus science for your target number.
Oh, it's like roll some dice. Roll some
15,
dice.
So I need to roll under a 15. Jeez.
And it's going to be difficulty 2. And also, here's a cool thing about Star Trek Adventures. The ship is sort of like a character. It's got its own character sheet and its own statistics. And when you attempt a task using the ship's systems, someone can roll another d20 on the task using the ship's statistics. So if someone, when you assist, you only roll 1 d20, however. So if
I
someone
have a talent called technical expertise that I have that says when attempting a task assisted by the ship's computers or sensors, I may re-roll 1 d20. So if I fail one of these, I can then automatically re-roll with that.
That definitely applies, yes.
Nice.
So if someone would roll a d20, someone other than Lieutenant T'Pren can roll 1 d20, and it's going to be sensors plus science, which is an 11 for your target number.
I got a 13 and an 18 when I rolled, and my science and sensor was a 15.
Okay,
And
you got
how
1
many-
success.
Yeah.
You need 2.
So can I roll again with my technical expertise?
Yes, you can re-roll that d20 that missed.
That one is a 10, so I've got 2 successes.
Okay, and did someone roll for the ship?
Ava did.
I did roll for the ship, and I got a 6.
Okay, so you got 3 successes, you needed 2. So you
great.
generated another point of momentum.
I have a question. Is the momentum a pool for the ship? So does that mean we now have 4 momentum as a group? Perfect.
Unless, Lieutenant T'Pren, you would like to spend, well, I'll get to that in a moment. If you want, you can spend that point of momentum you just generated right now. But it looks as if there is heavy interference, heavy electromagnetic interference in the atmosphere of ICOS. Now, if you would like to spend your point of momentum, that's the reason that your sensors and your communicators aren't going to work on the planet. If you would like to get, do a more in-depth scan and maybe get a little more information about what's going on the planet, you can spend that point of momentum you just generated.
Yes, I would like to use my momentum to find that out.
Okay, so you take a few more minutes to do a more in-depth scan, see if you can filter out some of that electromagnetic interference. And you see that the situation is indeed grim on the planet Icos. It looks as if something like 40% of the planet's oceans, which the oceans cover the vast majority of the planet's surface, but something like 40% of the planet's oceans are covered in some kind of synthetic chemical that is a flame. And these flames are absolutely devastating the ecosystems of the planet and just belching toxic smoke up into the atmosphere. And that's probably the main reason why your sensors and communicators aren't going to work.
All right, I will relay that information to everyone who was on the bridge.
I am
Sorry.
on the bridge. Yeah.
I think that I am also going to be on the bridge because I'm actually going to ask the captain for permission to be part of the party that gets beamed down, or who is on the ship. I think that my expertise in biology and toxicology could be useful here for us to understand this synthetic chemical better and see if there is a way that we could maybe reverse the damages that it's doing.
If you're volunteering based off of your expertise, I actually think that is a great idea for you to be on the mission. We do need to decide how many people are going and how many people are staying, and if we're taking one party or two.
I do have one question.
Okay.
We are supposed to broker peace on this planet. Should it be our first thing to speak with the Ayal of the Icosa, or to stop those machines to give us more time to broker peace?
I think that the number one thing that if we don't stop the machines and the synthetics, then we will not be able to, there won't be anyone to broker peace for. So as your captain, I would say that our mission 1 would be to stop the synthetics and then follow up with the peace.
Reiter is pleased.
So what exactly does that entail? Ayal has specified that we should send this shuttle down and their people would meet us. So should we do that and explain at that point that we feel that we should just get information at that point and then decide our next steps from there, Captain?
I don't know that if all of the communication at this time, since it is iffy that they even know that we are here, that is my main thing that I want us to do. I think that I want the crew to move forward with stopping the synthetics first before we meet up with the sorry, I just lost the name of the place, the Icosa. We are new to this planet, and although I trust Admiral Kirk's vision, we have not spoken with either party, so we don't know what the real situation is in the first place.
Save the planet.
Yes, we're going to save the planet first and foremost. We need to stop the synthetics.
So what ideas do you have to try and put these flames out?
So right now I was like, if it's a chemical, is there a way to like safely get some of it to test it? I don't know if that's in character or out of character.
So you couldn't transport it up. You could send someone down to try and into one of these infernos and maybe pick up a sample. Sure.
I was just talking about volcanoes.
Yeah.
I
guess.
do we have one question?
Go ahead.
Do you want to try to stop the blaze or the machine causing the blaze? Because we could potentially find a way to put out the fire, but if the machines causing the fires have not been stopped, then the fire will continue.
Both. We have to gain at least a sample to figure out if we can stop what's already out there, but we also need to get rid of the machine that is producing the chemicals.
Might I give a suggestion?
Yes.
If you intend to potentially split us up at any point, maybe some of us go down in the shuttle to meet Ayal and some of us go get a sample of the chemical. Don't think we should attempt to fully disable these things without really knowing what we're getting into and or speaking to anyone on the planet.
I trust your judgment, Lieutenant T'Pring. So if you would like to take a diplomatic crew to meet the speaker, then I will allow you to pick that crew.
Yes, Captain. So I would like to go down and meet with Ayal if other people are going to go and get a sample or trying to find out what the machines actually are doing. I would like to have someone to go with me to meet with the speaker.
I call not it.
I concur.
Well, Jitan does have quite a bit of presence and diplomacy. So I don't necessarily know that I would be much help with the obtaining of this chemical sample. However, if I could be on the planet and be able to then analyze it with my equipment once it has been obtained, I might be able to find a way to neutralize it.
I will go with the doctor. In case there's some sort of computer system down there that's causing this damage. We could have someone down there as an expert like myself to see what the problem could be and how I could fix it.
All right, so the captain and I are going to get a sample?
Yes. Commander Ritter, you and I will go down and do what I will assume is the more dangerous task of getting the sample in the Inferno. Commander Jitan, Vaoret. Man, we've been together for 5 years. I don't know their names.
Manny, can you put your characters?
Vaoret.
Your character name in there.
Vaoret and Lieutenant T'Pring you all will go to meet with the speaker and report back what you find. And we will bring you the sample there. Please make sure you take your analyzation equipment.
Yes, Captain.
And ask them what to do about like communicators. We need to stay in touch.
So it sounds to me like Captain Moore and Commander Reiter are going down in one shuttle to try and pick up a sample of this chemical that is burning the oceans. And then Jitan, T'Pren, and Vaoret are going down in a separate shuttle to meet with the Speaker of the Crest. Is that right?
Correct.
Think so?
All right. So transporters won't work, so it will require the use of shuttlecraft, which is cool. The Lexington has a bunch. So someone will have to get into the pilot seat of the shuttlecraft. The journey down to meet with the Speaker of the Crest is not a difficult one because you've got the coordinates and it's not going to require you to fly very close to any of the infernos. So I'm not going to require you to roll for that one. However, so the three of you get into your shuttle and fly down to the planet's surface and glide down to, you see that there's a platform just in the middle of the ocean. And as you fly down, you can see on the horizon, there are these towering infernos just emerging from the ocean at great distance, just belching smoke into the air. And even the very atmosphere is just sort of hazy with this smoke. It really seems like the entire planet is being poisoned and poisoned rapidly. But you land down on this platform, and immediately as you do so, emerging from the water, you see a group of life forms that they have blue skin and large eyes that maybe remind you of like a whale or something like that, but they're humanoid. And they emerge from the water and they try to make contact with you inside the shuttlecraft.
Which one of us? All of us?
This is for the landing party of Jitan, T'Pren, and Vaoret.
Can I activate whatever translation thing needs to be activated so we can communicate?
Yes. The universal translator should work just fine.
I just want to let them know that some of the part of the crew is here to meet and speak with Ayal.
They all seem grateful. There's maybe a half a dozen of them. They all seem grateful for your presence here. They know why you're here, and they have breathing apparatuses for as many of you who would like to go with them, and they indicate that you're going to have to go for a swim.
I put on the breathing apparatus, hopefully, and I could have them check it after just to make sure. And Jen gesture to Lieutenant Commander Jitan and Commander Vaoret as well. So hopefully we all are doing this.
Yes.
Yes, I will be maybe a little slower in the water, but I'll do my best.
They, using the universal translator, they say that won't be a problem. You will find that the waters of Icos have some rather remarkable properties.
Fascinating. Well, in that case, sign me up twice.
I look forward to seeing what technology you have down here.
You'll find it is not very similar to what you're used to on your Federation starship. But please follow us. And they gracefully sort of glide into the water.
I like to think that I gracefully follow. It's not gracefully. I do follow.
So the first thing you notice, T'Pren, is that the water is sort of the perfect, comfortable temperature for you.
Does it feel like, this sounds like an odd question, does it feel like water or is it more of a viscous kind of thing since it's that temperature? I'm just curious.
It feels like water, but it sort of, it almost vibrates or shimmers with this sense of, this overwhelming sense of welcome. It's almost, I don't know what sort of spiritual training T'Pren has, but it's almost like a spiritual experience. You get a sense of welcome as you glide into the water.
Okay. And I follow behind Nikosa.
And I imagine Lieutenant Commander Vaoret and Lieutenant Commander Jitan do the same?
Yes, we follow.
Yes.
And I'm trying to enjoy this experience. So
the Icosa guide you through the water, and they immediately accelerate as they swim, and you're sort of gliding in their wake. It's effortless as you descend deeper and deeper into the ocean. And as you do so, you notice that there's no sense of pressure. The breathing apparatuses are totally natural for you. It doesn't feel like scuba diving or anything like that. It feels completely natural that you are deep under the surface of this ocean. And they guide you to what looks to be a mammoth city underwater in almost like a giant bubble with this skin-like membrane that it almost looks like an enormous jellyfish kind of glowing on the floor of the ocean. And as you pass through that membrane, the Icosa guide you to a central platform where you see one tall Icosa figure who turns to you and says, "Welcome, I am Ayal, the speaker of the crest. Thank you so much for journeying here."
Thank you for your hospitality. My name is Lieutenant Supreme of the U.S.S. Lexington. We are here to help.
I knew Admiral Kirk would send someone. And at that point, we'll cut to the other shuttlecraft, which is going to encounter something quite different. Who of Captain Moore or Commander Reiter is in the pilot chair?
I'll let Cap drive if she wants to, of course.
I'll drive.
Awesome. So Captain Reiter, I need you to give me a daring plus con roll. And this is going to be difficulty 3. You've got 3 points of momentum at your disposal, which you can cash in to get 2 extra dice if you want to.
Okay, say that one more time. It was con and which one?
Daring, because as your shuttlecraft descends through the atmosphere, to get a sample of this chemical, you're going to have to go into one of these enormous infernos covering the surface of the ocean. This is going to be some hotshot piloting.
Well, good thing I'm not piloting. I'm just kidding. I'm sure I'm an amazing pilot. All right, clack, clack. That was a 2 and that was an 8. So we did it.
So it's a difficulty 3 roll.
Do I need to? So I need to roll more dice.
So someone can roll for the shuttlecraft, which is going to have engines plus con of 6. So someone can roll an extra die and see if they get a 6 or less.
Do you want one of us to do it, or do you want anyone in general? Okay.
I'll do it since I'm on the craft, or
Sure.
or somebody else can do it. Oh no, that's an 18. Can we use a momentum point though?
So yes, I will allow that. Usually I would ask that you decide to spend the momentum before you attempt the roll, but because I didn't make that clear,
okay.
You can do that now. So yes, if you want to roll one more die, go right ahead.
Oh, it just lets us roll another die. Oh man. No, okay, it was a 16. No.
Okay. So the shuttlecraft, Captain Moore, as you pilot the shuttlecraft into this inferno, the deck rocks beneath you as it's almost as if it's not just a fire. It's almost like there's some sort of energy, like a plasma discharge coming from this chemical. And it is going to do a couple of, let's see how much resistance your shuttlecraft has. It's going to do about 6 CD damage. So it does 5 points of damage, which is going to be enough to cause a breach to one of your systems. So your shuttlecraft structure is becoming compromised. You can take 2 more of those before your shuttlecraft is destroyed. But you are able to, despite the damage, you're able to pilot the shuttlecraft down to the surface, close to the surface of the water, where you see that there's just this bright flame covering the surface of the ocean. What would you like to do?
Since I am piloting this ship, I guess there's not like land, because you said there wasn't land nearby to land it. Hold on. Sorry. I had an idea and then it went away. So can I put Commander Ritter on tell them to pilot the ship and then try to fix what's wrong with it while I'm on the ship?
Yeah.
Like what's just happened to it?
You want to affect repairs to the damage you just took?
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Yes, please.
So yeah. So you scramble out of the pilot's chair and maybe get some tools and give me a difficulty 2. You can use either daring or control plus engineering.
Can I don't know if this is allowed. I have the value of engineering at heart. Am I allowed to use that to inspire determination?
Yeah, totally. That absolutely applies.
Okay. So I just need to roll 2 d20s. And you said it was daring, engineering, and sorry, I missed the third one.
Yeah, you can use either control or daring, whichever one is higher for you. And then engineering is your discipline.
Okay, so 13. An 11 and a 5. So maybe I didn't even need to use the determination.
Okay, well, I'll let you decide. Do you want to use it or not?
No, it's okay.
Okay, so you, as a former engineer, before you took the captain's chair, you know what's going on with the shuttle, and you can sort of describe for me if you like. Do you go to some sort of like heroic length to kind of MacGyver a solution to fix your shuttle?
I'm just, Commander Ritter, take control of the, what is this, a shuttle? Sorry, of the shuttle. And then I'm gonna kind of like, put your leg over the chair. I'm sure it's like small. And then I'm going to go back there and pull some tools I've been hiding like deep in my pocket that nobody knows because I secretly like to fiddle with things in my quarters.
You have one because Commander Reiter definitely gave that to you for your birthday.
The Swiss Army knife. I used Commander Ritter's Swiss Army knife to cut some wires, move them around, and then I pull out like a little small power source from my other pocket and hook everything up, and then like slam the little panel back on, give it a little pat, little kiss.
Yeah, immediately after you kiss the panel, the console lights fire back up, and you hear like a whirring sound as the engine kind of comes back to life, and you have successfully stabilized the shuttlecraft for the moment.
Yes, just pet it, listen to it purr a little bit, takes me back.
See, Cap, you did it. You never let us down. And you used that tool I got you. I told you it has 6 Zaurnars and 1 abilities.
I need you to concentrate on driving. We're in the middle of an inferno.
I got this, Cap. I got this.
I trust you.
Is anything that we're doing, does it count as a security task? I don't know what that really means.
Yeah, so security governs your firing a phaser or punching or kicking someone. Security is like your main combat discipline.
All right, I'm sorry, I still didn't quite understand what security means, but basically what you're saying is it's not applicable in what I'm doing right now.
Unless you're fighting someone or kind of sizing up combat tactics, it probably wouldn't apply.
All my stuff is for fighting. Not to fight.
Okay, so what would you like to do, Commander Reiter?
I would like to not crash this shuttle and get it steadied, or I will hand over the pilot chair back to Cap if she wants to take it. Honestly, yeah. Go ahead.
You want to use your security discipline. So I'm going to spend a couple of points of momentum as this is going on. You sort of skim the shuttle away from the center of the inferno, and you kind of emerge for a second outside into sort of clearer air. And you're really just a few meters over the surface of this ocean. And so I'm spending 2 points of threat right now as emerging from the waves is a giant tentacle that wraps itself around the warp engine of your shuttlecraft, and you feel the deck surge underneath you.
Oh my God, can I say something really cheesy? Like, looks like calamari's on the menu. What? Come on. on. Told you.
I was fully horrified until you said that, so we're good now.
All right. So then, GM, how might I use my roughing it then? Because that's what I was going with there. Because with roughing it, then if that's because that is survival focus, and that's kind of what we've got going on right now.
Well, yeah, so survival is like, in the wilderness, fighting a giant squid would probably qualify. So,
I mean, we're not wilderness could we're above giant flames, so that's
so any task you attempt to combat this sea monster that has wrapped its tentacle around your shuttlecraft would get an extra D20 on the roll.
What are our onboard weapon systems?
The shuttlecraft you are in has only phasers, no torpedo weapons.
I set phasers to sushi.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Okay.
So
go ahead. Yes, please.
Yeah, firing phasers is going to be a control plus security roll as you try to get a weapons lock and fire phasers. Okay. It's going to be difficulty 2. And the shuttlecraft, Captain Moore, you can assist by rolling 1d20, and the shuttlecraft has, it's not going to be very good. You basically got to get a natural 1 to help out from the shuttlecraft.
The shuttlecraft also, if I use roughing it when attempting a security task that uses survival focus, I get a bonus D20, so I get 3.
Yes. Yep, awesome. You get 3 D20s. You also have a point of momentum if you want to buy an additional D20 beyond that.
I have to decide that right now, don't I?
Yes.
Well, no, there's me and there's Captain, right?
I have to roll a natural 1 though.
Captain does. Does the shuttle get a roll or no?
That's
Captain Moore is rolling for the shuttle. The shuttle has very rudimentary offensive capabilities.
I don't want to kill us right when the action started, but how many momentum points does our whole team have left? Just 1? 2?
2.
You've got 2, so you get your first D20 costs 1 momentum. To get your second D20, that costs an additional 2 momentum. So you would have to pay me another threat if you want to get 2 more dice.
We've got 4. What could go wrong? All right, so
your silly questions got us attacked by a squid. I'm just kidding. Just kidding.
All right, rolling, and that actually worked. I have a 5, a 3, and a 6. So they all were under my control plus, what was it? Control and command? No, control and
security.
Right. Security was 4, control was 11. That's 15.
Very good. Did any of your dice roll under a 4? Your natural total?
Yes, there's a 3.
Okay, so that counts as 2 successes.
Work.
So how many total successes did we get on that?
I got 3 successes. All 3 dice behaved.
Okay, so you get a point of momentum back as you lock phasers on this giant tentacle that has wrapped itself around your ship, and the phasers fire and immediately make contact, and the tentacle immediately is pulled back down under the surface of the ocean. You can no longer see it.
I'm gonna pull the ship up like a little higher, hopefully out of tentacle range. I'm not sure how that would be, but also to kind of survey like where a better maybe vantage point would be, or kind of driving around to see if we can find the source of the synthetic coming out. Does that make sense?
Yeah, so you, for the moment, you're able to pilot the ship up and out of the range of that tentacle, and you are out of danger for the moment. And we will cut back to the ocean floor, where your other landing party has met with the Speaker of the Crest, Ayal. So what are you 3 characters thinking, and what are your questions for the Speaker of the Crest?
Well, I want to know the technology is being used that's causing all this damage to the planet. What's called? Just want to know what's exactly causing it.
Ayal says the Lokari have loaded torpedoes with sea-burning chemical, and they launch these torpedoes seemingly at will. The problem is not so much the torpedoes. The problem is the crest, the living ecosystem that we use to defend ourselves was destroyed in battle and now rests at the bottom of an ocean trench. And with the crest gone, our ocean no longer has the ability to repair itself, to regenerate from the damage caused by the sea burner.
Wait, so there was some sort of machine that was regenerating this protection, and now it's at the bottom.
Living coral reef that you were living on, that's been destroyed.
Not a machine, a living ecosystem that is the center of our lives as the Icosa.
And the entire thing has been destroyed, and it's now at the bottom of a trench.
Yes.
What's the function? Because I'm wondering if we can possibly construct something that could replace it.
Function? It is simply the crest. It is the center of our lives.
How long has it been since the crest has been destroyed?
2 of your Earth weeks.
I fear without
it, we have no means of regenerating our ocean.
How long until it's too late? Is there a time that we've not had a crest for too long and the damage is irreparable?
It varies depending on each Icosa, but without contact with the crest, as our oceans lose their regenerative ability, our ability to flow from one identity to another is hindered. And eventually we will become calcified like the Lokari.
Was there anything from the crest that happened to survive even a small amount of cells that could be replicated?
Perhaps we don't possess that kind of technology. Perhaps you could visit the crest.
I would like to do that very much.
As well I.
Yes. We need some way to get your waters to be able to take care of themselves.
If you could find a way to restore the crest, then our oceans would be able to regenerate themselves.
And the crest was vaguely sentient, correct?
It felt.
Okay. Was there any kind of maintenance that you were doing when the crest was healthy that we could do to potentially assist in getting it back to where it needs to be?
We do not know. We've never been in this situation. We've never been without the crest.
How do we get there?
She can give you a guide to take you there.
Observation question to the game master. Looking at what I'm seeing here, what do I feel like is their level of technology compared to ours? Are they more like 21st century Earth?
So they are a warp capable species. They built vessels, but they call them seas, and they're almost, you see this strange sort of biotechnology that surrounds you. They don't like build machines out of circuit boards and metals. They build their machines out of almost like biological tissues, and that's what their sea vessels were, because they needed their sea vessels actually had water in them. So they would take water from their oceans and fill their ships with it like a balloon, and then take that out into space, and that was their warp capable vessels. But it doesn't look like they're exploring space much these days.
Okay, all right. So that explains why when I ask for mechanical details, it just doesn't make sense to them when I'm asking. Okay, all right. Yeah, I definitely need to see this crest.
Yes, perhaps if there's any life whatsoever left in the crest, we may be able to use Federation technology in order to bring it back.
I do have another question. The crest is in the bottom of a trench. Do you know of any local wildlife that could potentially cause an issue while we go search the crest?
It will be dark at the bottom of that trench, and so I would recommend that you not leave the path that our guide takes you on, because yes, there will be, there's all our oceans teem with life, and not all of it is friendly.
Understood.
I ask if pressurization is going to be an issue. I assume not, being that these are aquatic people, but just to double check.
No, our oceans, our waters luckily obtain enough of their miraculous properties that you won't need to worry about pressure. In fact, if the crest were still up to its, at the height of its powers, you wouldn't even need your breathing apparatuses. Our waters are actually breathable under normal circumstances.
Okay. And a quick question to the GM. Do phasers work underwater?
Yeah, they'll work.
Okay, okay.
Maybe, Chief Engineer, maybe you could modify them. Why don't you give me a difficulty 1 reason plus engineering roll as you sort of go over your instruments that you have with you underwater.
While they're doing that, can I ask Commander Jitan if we should do this with just the 3 of us, or if we should wait until our entire team is back together? Just try to get your opinion.
It could be good to run this by the captain, but given the circumstances and given the fact that these machines are spreading this sea-burning malice so far and wide, I wonder if we can afford the luxury.
That's what I assumed as well. I needed someone else to have that same opinion. Thank you.
Of course, Lieutenant.
I needed to get under, well, I have 15, and I have 14 and a 15.
So 2 successes, you only needed 1. So you generate a point of momentum, and you are able to modify all of your equipment so that it will be unaffected by being underwater.
You're welcome, everyone.
Thank you, Lieutenant Commander.
So are you guys, are you ready to set out for that trench?
Yes.
Yes.
We are.
Okay, so you are led even deeper under the ocean, and pretty quickly you notice that the light is almost completely gone. I mean, it's you can't even see your hands in front of your face. And as you realize, maybe that unsettles you a little bit, we will cut back to the other shuttlecraft, which is currently skimming around the surface of the oceans next to one of these infernos. What's the captain and the commander doing? Yes, so the camera cuts to the shuttle with Captain Moore and Commander Reiter, who are trying to get a sample of whatever this chemical is that's proving so devastating to the oceans of Icos. So how do you propose, with transporters inoperative because of all of the pollution in the atmosphere of this planet, how do you propose getting a sample of this chemical?
I was actually going to say that while Cap is maneuvering us to hopefully higher than tentacle reach, that Commander Reiter is checking all through the vessel to look for the strongest heckin' container we've got. So that's what I'm doing.
So yeah, there would be all kinds of standard scientific equipment. So you would certainly have a container. The question is, how do you get it close enough to this chemical that's coating the surface of the ocean and causing these plasma fires to burn? How do you get it close enough to get a sample?
Do we have any, like, I know our weapons wise, we discussed that, but does the shuttle have any, is there a maneuverable, like, robot arm that can do something, or no?
That would not be standard issue. However, if you wanted to jury rig something, that would be awesome. You've got a couple of options. You can try to maybe attempt a task to improvise some kind of scientific equipment that would allow you to do that remotely, or you could you've got 4 momentum. I would allow you to spend 2 of them to create an advantage.
Can the shuttle submerge? Like, can it go under the water?
No, not in its current configuration.
Okay.
That would
Do
be
we
bad.
have gear that can take us under the water?
Sure. Yeah. You knew this was like an aquatic mission, so you probably would have packed something like that as precaution.
Okay. So, and can we see where, just gonna sound weird, where the synthetic, like where it ends, like the flames.
Yeah, if you want to, yes, that would be fine. It's almost like a storm front of burning plasma on the surface of the ocean.
Okay. Hear me out. Would it be possible for us to fly like towards like where the end is, and I can possibly like put on the scuba gear, dive under, and take the sample from the underside, since, or at least see if the flames are, does that make sense? Because if they're plasma flames, I'm not sure how they work, but at least get an idea. Are they submerging somehow, or is it just above?
I know exactly what you mean. It's like when there's a terrible oil spill.
Yeah, the flames are just on the top, so I'm just curious.
Yeah, and they will set it on fire to get rid of the oil. It's not like the entire ocean burns. I totally understand what May is surmising, what Captain Moore's saying. So yeah.
So the plan is to dive into the water and then come up underneath. Is that what you're saying?
That's what I'm asking, if I can dive, go to like where it's like far enough and dive under the water, if the very least to see if like I can still feel the heat from the flames under the water. Is there a way to take a sample from the underside instead of trying to like go into the flames on the top?
Yeah, absolutely. Let's do that. That sounds awesome.
Okay. I'm all for this because it's something I don't really want to spend 2 momentum points to make a robot or arm or a mechanical arm and then just have it burn in the plasma fire anyway. That does not seem like a smart use of points. So sure, going under the water is a good idea.
My question for you is, how close to the surface do you want to pilot the shuttlecraft before you exit the vehicle?
So we're gonna go past the flames anyway, and like far enough away from it that like the shuttle is not, and then low enough where one of us could jump from the shuttle into the water without like hurting ourselves on impact, because if we're too high then it's gonna like, you know,
Captain,
like a penny off the Empire State Building. That's not the situation we're trying to create in this moment.
And Captain, I totally hear what you're saying and I'm down for it. You are way too valuable and too important to all of us to risk your life. So I'll jump into the fire.
You absolutely will not. You will pilot the ship.
But Captain,
I will not lose another crew member in a situation that I am in control of. You will pilot the ship. If something is to happen to me, you are to meet up with the other lieutenants. Do you understand?
I do.
Thank you, Lieutenant. Or Commander, sorry. I'm gonna get Commander. So I'm gonna put on my scuba. I don't know what this is gonna do. I put it on like a helmet, like there would be this humongous. Put my little snorks on.
Captain, is that fireproof? Wait, is Captain diving? Like, is Captain jumping out and where there is fire, or are we away from the fire?
We're away from the fire. We like flew past it.
To the fire.
I'm going to swim under it. And if it gets too hot as I get close to it under the water, then I'm going to swim back. I'm not going to just like swim into
the fire.
I am a Starfleet captain. I'm not an idiot. I'm going to swim. If it's too hot, I won't swim back.
So look, I'm Commander, and I'm okay.
I went to engineering school. Dadgummit.
I'm good at adventuring. All right, Cap, I got you.
All right.
Reiter takes over the pilot seat, and is gonna be, strong and sure of himself, but also worried for Captain.
So the squid appears to have learned its lesson from taking a phaser blast and appears to have left the scene. So I won't make you roll to pilot the shuttle a little bit, some distance away from the fire. And Captain Moore, you are able to open the side hatch and jump safely into the water. And you swim toward the fire, correct?
Yes, but like cautiously, not like so fast that like if I, my skin started boiling, I couldn't like just get out of there. But with my
Yeah.
like containers in tow to hopefully take a sample from the underside. Can I see any flames? Is it underwater fire too?
It is not, it doesn't go very far underwater. It appears to be just on the surface, but the plasma fire is intense. I mean, you can definitely feel the heat coming from it, but it does look like there's sort of a ring of this chemical that extends beyond the sort of storm front of plasma fire.
Okay. So if it's not too hot, I'm going to try to like take the sample from that ring.
Yeah.
But I'm going to use like an extender. I'm not just stick my hand on that. I'm going to put it on a thing that I
very
have
good.
like maneuvered. I'm good at stuff. And then I'm going to try to like scoop it.
Yeah, while you're swimming, while you're kind of like
I feel like
treading
SpongeBob
water.
trying to catch a jellyfish.
Yeah, so you cast that baby into the chemical, the halo of chemical around the fire. And this is going to require some dexterity. So give me control plus, you can give me science or engineering, whichever is better. I could see either one applying. Because you're trying to locate like the most opportune part of the chemical spill.
So 9, 13. And so I roll 2.
This will be a difficulty 2. You've got some momentum to burn if you want extra dice.
Let's do 1 momentum since this is super important that we get the sample.
Okay, and you could also use your determination if you want, if you've got a value that applies. If you want to, you don't have to.
I mean,
And we
guess
get
it's like
3 determination per game, correct?
1 determination.
Well, we only get 1 per game.
okay. I'm just gonna do the 3. I don't think any of these really apply to what we're doing. Oh, I just needed 2 because I made 2.
Okay.
I got an 8, a 9, and a 17. I'm sorry. I was excited, then I came back and I pulled it back. I was like, did I get it? Did I not get it?
Freaking people out gasping like that.
I'm sorry.
Oh.
I thought that was a good gasp. I was excited. I was like, all right.
I thought at first I was like, yay. And then I was like, wait, did I need 3?
No, so you get exactly the number of successes that you need, and you cast your instrument into the chemical and successfully reel in a sample. However, I'm going to spend some more threat as overhead you see a missile streak across the sky and land not far from where you are. And almost there's maybe a beat or two of eerie silence, and then all of a sudden another enormous plasma flame erupts from the surface of the ocean, not far from where you are, and it starts to spread outward. You're probably gonna need to get back to the shuttlecraft as quickly as you can.
Oh, okay, great. So I am going to swim like a demon. Hold on, I'm trying to like pick things that make sense. Can I like sound weird? Try to like bust a hole in the bottom of my tank to make it propel me faster towards the ship, and swim at like my top speed using like fitness and science.
So if you want to, I love the idea of busting a hole in your tank to propel you through the water. If you spend 2 points of momentum, 2 of your 3 points of momentum, I will say that you've created that advantage and it just works.
Do we have that much momentum?
You've got 3 points. This will cost you 2 to create an advantage.
Yeah, I need to get back to the ship, so I'll do that.
Awesome.
Go for it.
So yeah, the tank explodes. It ignites behind you. It's almost like you've got a jetpack, and it almost lifts you off the surface of the water as you sail through the open side hatch of the shuttlecraft.
Oh my gosh, you guys can so tell I've never been scuba diving. Did you see how I was swimming? Anyway, so I'm gonna I grab the hatch. I'm gonna yell, okay, I need help. I need help. There's more fire. Thank you. Commander. Because I'm like, I assume I'm like hanging. Huh?
I help.
Are you helping? Okay.
Of course. Are you kidding me?
I'm
I
helping.
would
Okay.
jump right in that fire for you, Captain, even if I didn't need to, even if I shouldn't.
I have obtained the sample. We need to go.
Okay.
To the crew. So
I run back to the pilot's seat and hightail us out of there, and I assume that I know where we're going.
Where are you going?
We had the coordinates for the place that we were supposed to meet the speaker.
Okay.
Yeah, we're going to see where IL is.
Yeah. Commander Reiter, give me a daring plus con roll.
Okay. Hold on, let me see. Okay, so con, okay, 4, daring 10. All right, how many dice?
It's gonna be difficulty 3. You get 2. You can spend, you've got a point of momentum available if you want for an extra dice. And someone, Captain Moore, if you want to jump into the co-pilot seat, you can roll for the shuttle.
Okay.
It's going to be engines plus con. So Captain Moore, your target number is 6. And you get 1 die.
Okay, I'm not going to use our momentum point because we have 1 left, and I don't want to, the rest of our crew. Well, I'm not going to do it because I don't want them to get et by whatever's lurking down there in the dark. So I got 1 success.
I got a 10, so I didn't get anything.
Okay, so as you wheel the shuttlecraft around, the flame from the new missile that just streaked across the sky catches one of your nacelles and starts causing all kinds of problems with the ship's systems. And your shuttlecraft actually crash lands near the platform where the rest of your other landing party was supposed to go. As the shuttlecraft lands into the water, you can see the water start to rise up on the viewports immediately in front of the shuttlecraft. I need both of you, Captain Moore and Commander Reiter, to give me a fitness plus security roll. So it'll be difficulty 2.
Is this also, oh shoot. Why is this all these words that say combat? This isn't combat, is it? Even if we're fighting the elements?
I got 1 success. Success.
Okay. I must
have been drowning. Success. What is that?
Con and what was it we're doing?
Fitness plus security.
Oh, fitness. Wait, I don't see. Oh, there's fitness. Fitness and security. Okay. I have 2 successes.
Okay.
Yes, I have 2 successes. Yes.
All right. So, Commander Reiter, as the ship crashes, you manage to not sustain an injury. However, Captain Moore does. Captain Moore, what injury do you sustain in the crash?
I'm going to say that, I did not put my seatbelt on properly as I was still frazzled from my swift swim through the water, and I tried to escape an inferno, and I not too hard, but hit my head on the, I just went a little forward and popped my little noggin.
Okay, a concussion. That's perfect.
No, you're giving Captain a concussion?
Yeah, totally. So you're injured. You cannot, while you are injured, you cannot attempt tasks, but you are still alive for the moment. We will cut to the other away team as you are swimming through the dark depths of this ocean trench. And there is an Icosa who is swimming directly in front of you, guiding you along the way. However, I spend 2 points of threat, so I'm down to 4. As you suddenly realize you have lost your guide in the darkness at the bottom of this ocean trench. Oh. What do the 3 of you do?
Take a moment so the player doesn't panic.
I guess I yell. I was like, "Hey, go! Stop! Not so fast!"
But they were in front. They were directly in front of us.
Yeah.
Do we notice? Can we look around for any other movement? Because they did try to stay on the path that they mentioned, because there are other things down here. So can we look for any other movement that's not us?
Yeah, to Pren. Why don't you make a tricorder scan? This will be reason plus science, difficulty 1.
Okay, reason plus science, that'll be 15. I got a 2 and an 8.
2 successes. You only needed 1, so you generate a point of momentum. You now have 2 at your disposal.
Sweet.
And okay, so here's what you find. There is a large life form directly beneath you. And in fact, to Pren, as you get out your tricorder and scan, the lights shine from the buttons on your tricorder, casting this eerie blue glow beneath you, and you see some kind of enormous, scaly creature writhing just a few meters below you.
Danny's having a breakdown. Does T'Pren notice the guide anywhere, though? Like, does this thing, is whatever we're seeing, has it caught, is it why we don't see the guide? Do we see our guide flailing or fighting or anything like that? You
read four life signs. That would be the three of you and whatever it is this creature is directly below you.
Oh.
That's not
dang.
good.
That
was
not
quick. That was quick. Okay. We need to, is it stationary?
It's swimming slowly beneath you.
If we stop swimming, is it continue going forward? Can I stop swimming? Like just kind of like tread water where I am to see if it, they see this, right? Now that do they see this? We're all kind of following that person?
Yes, you're all aware, yeah.
So I kind of gesture to them to stop and then just point down. But I don't want to, I want to see if it will continue forward because I don't want to have that.
So the idea is you're kind of like hiding or trying to hold still and hope it doesn't
just holding still and hoping it's like, oh, you can't see us. Like my foot's under the cover. I'm not here. That.
Lieutenant Commander Jitan and Lieutenant Commander Vaoret, what are you going along with this strategy or are you doing something different?
I think I would, oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead. So I'm sorry.
Oh, no worries. Thanks. I was just gonna say I would follow suit. I would of course immediately like wonder what like make note of what T'Pren was pointing toward. I wondered if I could perhaps use my biology focus to like determine more information about like just exactly how big of a threat this particular creature might be to us.
Yeah, give me a reason plus science roll.
Okay.
And what species is Lieutenant Commander Jitan?
I'm human.
Human. Okay.
Yes.
Good,
So okay. So reason plus.
This will be a difficulty 1 roll.
Okay, and you said reason plus science.
Yes.
Okay, so 14 is my target. Wow, and I rolled 2 19s.
So you're maybe verging on panic, and you're on an alien world in this strange environment, and you just don't know what it is that's below you.
Yeah.
All right. I trust the lieutenant. I'm annoyed because I don't know what's going on. I don't know, not knowing what's going on, but I trust the lieutenant, so I stop where I'm at, and I slowly reach for my phaser just in case.
Wise precaution.
Can I ask a question about, you said it was a large scaly thing? Does it resemble anything on any other planet that we've encountered before? Or is it a new scaly thing?
Maybe reminds you of an enormous eel.
Okay. Yeah.
Killer sea slug.
I just kind of want to stay still and just see if it'll continue moving forward. Since if it's only reading 4 life signs, our guide is gone. That was quick.
Yeah. Okay. So if all 3 of you are going along with that course of action, why don't you all attempt? You can use either control or daring as your attribute, but security is going to have to be the discipline. Since this is like kind of a survival type situation.
I'm going to use control.
I'm gonna roll to determine what your target number is. Give me 1 second here. Your target number is only a 1. So if you can get, if you get 2 successes or better, there's a good chance this thing will be satisfied with the meal it's gotten and leave you alone.
And you said control and security?
Or daring, whichever one you would prefer to use.
I'm going with my Vulcan control. I rolled a natural 1 and I rolled a 9.
So, and what was your target number?
Nope, 14.
Okay, so you got three successes, right?
Yes.
Okay,
So the natural
we
one
needed
is 2
one.
successes, right?
Yes, correct.
Awesome.
You generate 2 points of momentum as you watch this enormous creature just fade away into the darkness below you. For the moment, you are unharmed.
Were we on a clear, straight path down to this trench? Can we see the trench from where we are?
You can't see it, but you think you're pretty close because it's so dark down here.
Okay. I would like to continue moving forward with haste, but before we do that, can I scan again to see if there are any other forms of life around us?
Yeah, go ahead, and I won't even make you roll for it. It looks like you can sort of track this creature as it sort of glides out of range of your tricorder, and it looks like there's nothing else around for now.
Okay, then I would like to just gesture to my compatriots and move forward quickly.
Is it possible to jury rig my scanner to do like a sonar type of scan, like kind of detect objects by sound?
Yeah, totally. I would say that that's like creating an advantage, which you can do for spending 2 points of momentum. You've currently got 4.
Is that okay with the crew? Okay. All right, I'll do so.
Okay. So how do you want this sonar device to operate? What does it do for you?
So detect like kind of like the way bats find sound. It creates like a ping, and then it detects objects by whatever the ping hits and comes back to it.
Yeah. So as you can, so this ping is just sort of rhythmically going off for a while as you swim through the darkness, but the pings get shorter and shorter in duration until you almost, in the darkness, you almost slam into something enormous and solid in front of you, and you think you've probably reached the crest.
Okay. All right.
I was going to say, would it be possible for me to use my tricorder at this point to try to hone in on any healthy cells, any living cells that may still be available then?
Yes, absolutely. So give me a tricorder scan. It's going to be reason. So this is a living, this once was a living thing. And you're a doctor? You're the medical officer?
Yes.
So you could use medicine, like reason plus medicine, or insight plus medicine, whichever you prefer, and difficulty 2, since this is, whatever this is, it resembles nothing so much as like a giant maze made of like a coral reef. And you've never seen anything like it, but you do recognize that this was once alive. So it'll be a difficulty 2 roll. And you've got 2 points of momentum if you'd like to use any.
Yeah, I was thinking I might use 1 point of momentum, if that sounds okay with the group. Okay. But then my target number, if I use reason and medicine, that would be a 14. Then I got an 8 and a 7 and another 19. But I got my two successes. So.
Okay, well done. So you pull out your tricorder and scan this massive structure in front of you. And you determine that even though the cells that make it up are no longer alive, they've gone through this wide-scale necrosis, you realize that the crest was this vastly complex life form that was responsible for almost like an immune response that extended throughout all of this planet's oceans. The ocean appears to be full of immune cells capable of regenerating the oceanic ecosystems, but those cells can only be activated by signals, nervous signals generated by the crest. And without the life force of the crest to initiate this immune response, the ocean won't regenerate.
So do I think, with that information, if I can gather further information from that, do I think that we have the technology within the Federation that we could maybe emulate that signal that's necessary for that immune response within the cells within the ocean?
Lieutenant Commander Jitan, you think that with the help of maybe a talented engineering team, you could rig the ship to mimic that immune signal, the signal to initiate the immune response of the oceans. But it would probably take time, and you'd have to get started pretty quickly.
Okay, well then after I've gathered that information, I will make a signal then to the other lieutenants that we need to make haste back the way we came so that we can get back to base as quickly as possible and start working on this.
And I have been keeping an eye out to make sure that it's always just the three of us as we're there and as we're leaving.
And I'll use my sonar technology to kind of direction us. That way we're not getting lost on the way back. We're going back to where we came.
Yeah, so let's roll to find out what happens. If you want to navigate yourselves back to where you left the Speaker of the Crest, you're going to need to make an insight. That's kind of hard. An insight plus command roll.
Oh no!
Because you've got, any of you can attempt it, and because you've got this sonar device, I would originally say this is like a difficulty 3 roll, but because of you've got this advantage from your sonar device, it's going to be difficulty 2.
I have 11 together. Does anyone have a better
I have
number?
14.
Oh yeah, no, because I have 8.
Okay, I'm happy to make the roll. Do we want to use our last point?
Do you have to use momentum? Do you have to kind of call it now?
You know what?
Yes,
I think, yeah, we would have to call it now, but I think I'm going to use my determination point because I think that this would fit along with Lieutenant Commander Jitan. They want to get back to base as quickly as possible and are willing to pull out all the stops. So I'll use my determination. So
how many successes do we need?
You need 2, so you automatically get the 2 with your determination. You can still roll and maybe generate some extra momentum as well.
Momentum. Okay.
Oh, okay.
But before you do that, Lieutenant Commander Jitan, what value are you using as sort of your motivation in this sort of moment of bewilderment and crisis?
I believe probably the compassionate student of other cultures. I believe that Jitan would have been very overcome by the beauty of this culture and want to do absolutely everything within their power to save it.
Yeah, that's perfect. So with basically the survival of the Icosa on the line, you are absolutely 100% motivated to get this information somewhere where it can be of use. So yeah, go ahead and make that. You've already got the successes you need, but you can make the roll to generate additional momentum if you want.
Okay, sounds good. Let me do that. And I did not generate any additional momentum. My dice are rolling. I guess I need to pull my B string dice out for this because I pulled some of my favorites out and they're rolling really well for me tonight.
We need dice jail dice tonight. Those are the dice that we need.
The good news is that you spent your determination, and that will allow you to get back to the Icosa city where the Speaker of the Crest is, and with the information stored in your tricorder. And so you safely make the journey, and you know just where to lead the landing party to avoid any further danger. So with that, we will cut back to the other landing party, who is currently in a slowly sinking shuttle with the captain having sustained a concussion. What is going on?
Well, Captain is already in a swimming thing, but doesn't have oxygen, correct?
Correct.
So
I busted it.
Yeah, you busted it. Okay. Well, my first thing I'm going to do is, I'm going to say, Captain, can you swim? Can you swim? Are you okay?
I mean, I have to swim. There are more tanks. We need tanks.
I'm going to get the tanks. I'm going to get us set. I am going to pull you. I don't want you to get lost. you don't let me see your eyes. I have, by the way, Reiter has emergency first aid as a thing. So when I say this is actually Reiter being competent, not that he's not competent. In fact, I sort of think of him like a Steve Irwin type. So Reiter is literally looking to see what, like if there is signs of a concussion and whatnot.
Yeah, so your emergency medicine talent means that you reduce the difficulty of any first aid attempt by 1. So ordinarily, this would be a difficulty 1 task to help someone with a concussion. This is now a difficulty 0 task, which means you can roll and any successes generate momentum.
Yeah, let's see if we can get a few more points over here. How many will I be rolling?
So you get 2, and it's going to be daring plus medicine will be your target number.
Okay. All right. Daring is 11, medicine. All right. So that's a target number of 13. And I have an 8 and a 6. So that's 2 momentum points for us.
Yeah. So you've now got 3 points of momentum in your bank, and you find an emergency medical kit and deliver a hypospray. And Captain Moore, your vision starts to clear. The fog kind of lifts, and you can remove your injured condition. So you're basically conscious and can attempt tasks once again.
Thank you, Commander. We need to get the tanks. We need to wait for the pressure to equalize, and then we need to get off of this vessel.
Not the tanks, ma'am, lady.
Take the tank, put my thing back on. And then I guess we're waiting for it to equalize so that we can open something in order to get out, or bust something open, I guess. You couldn't open it, I don't think.
So, the hatch would have a manual release. So you can, as the cabin is starting to fill up with water, maybe it's up to your neck or something, you release the manual override, and the hatch with a big rush of air bursts open. And
we swim out.
Mm-hmm. We're swimming. We are swimming. Hopefully, I think before Commander Reiter, before we manually open that door, would grab whatever equipment, again, something if we have anything that's already like a sonar or a map reading or something that will assist us, because if we're in the water, or is land can we look up and see where we're going? You
got pretty close to the landing platform where the other landing party landed. So you can see that it's not a very big platform. It's just sort of a circular disc, just barely emerging from the surface of the ocean with your other shuttlecraft sitting on top of it, but you're gonna have to make a swim for it.
Right, but we can see it. So it's not like we're just out in the vast ocean and we have no idea which direction to go. Okay. Okay, well, Reiter, being the survivalist type who started, was a survivalist and a rugged frontiers person since all his life, would do a super fast dash around the shuttle to get any kind of equipment or weaponry or something that, because it's going to sink. I mean, the shuttle's toast. So is there anything that Reiter would end up, any gear that Reiter would grab?
So your phaser, your tricorder, whatever, wetsuit, something to help you breathe in the water. And then you'll of course want the sample of the chemical that Captain Moore was able to collect.
All right, Reiter insists all of this stuff goes into some kind of bag, hopefully, that can be held onto something while we're swimming. Okay, Reiter insists on carrying that.
Oh, yeah, I assume we're swimming. I thought you were just saying that that's what you did before we got in, and then we're swimming towards the platform.
Yeah, so it's a long swim, and you've had a long day, so give me fitness plus security roll. And this is going to be difficulty 3. I'm going to spend, sorry about that, guys. I'm going to spend, this is going to be difficulty 2. Never mind. I'm thinking, reconsidering.
Okay, so.
It's a difficulty 2, fitness plus security roll, and you've got 3 points of momentum between the two of you. You're both going to have to make it.
Well, I'm still worried about Captain, so I'm gonna use one of those momentum points. So I will grab another 20, and I critted. I have a natural 1. I made 2 of those rolls, so there's the 1, and then there's a 4.
Okay, that's 3 total successes.
Oh, man. I'm gonna use my determination point for this. The never give up on your crew. So with us being so close to having the sample, and I'm so tired, but I can see Commander Ritter is really trying to like help me swim and help me out. And I start thinking about all of the crew on the ship and how this might be our last mission together, that I just like find my inner strength to just push my body through the swim.
Yeah, Captain Moore, as you get like halfway there on this lengthy swim, and you feel your muscles are straining and getting weaker and weaker with every stroke, what is it that the two of you say to each other as you spend your determination and decide that you're going to make the remainder of this swim no matter what?
You've always been the best second in command. I need you to know that. We're going to make it. We're going to finish this mission, and I will do my best to keep us together.
You're gonna make me cry, Cap.
I'm sorry. Okay, I need you to.
I got you, Cap. I got you. Always and forever.
Okay, need to swim. I'm gonna need you to pull me just a little bit.
Reiter can do. Reiter is good at that. I don't even know that I have to roll anything for that, do I? No, because I am an athlete and martial artist.
Yeah, so you guys have made the rules. This is now just like you guys can narrate for me, how you finish this physically demanding.
Well,
journey.
If we're underwater, it's probably a lot of blub blub blub, but anyway, May was calling for a moment.
I was just assuming that we had like some weird like internal communicators or something.
I know we've been together for 5 years. We need to come up with a
eyes. You can read it in my eyes.
Yeah, a 10 for good buddy like thing for sure.
I imagine it as like we're getting closer to the platform, and I'm like slowly like cramping up. And I kind of like grab like the little belt thing on Reiter's, like that he's wearing on the scuba suit, to like pull me the rest of the way. But like my legs are like slowly kicking.
I got this. I do have a question though. When this is a question for the GM. When May just said that she wanted to use. She was going to use her determination point and then something like never give up on the crew. Where did she find never give up on the crew?
It's under the values. You probably don't have that same thing. You probably have like 4 different things.
Yeah, everyone's got different values, but you have to kind of call on one of your values to spend your determination. So it's sort of like a hook for role playing.
I got it. So it's there with the values, right? So that's what I'm looking at.
Yeah.
Okay, I got it. I'm with you. Okay. So,
yes. Oh, sorry. This was also a GM question. I have this thing called Veteran Officer. It says after you spend your determination point, you can roll your D6. And if you get the effect roll, your determination point is regained immediately.
Okay, yeah, that's awesome. Thank you for reminding me of that. Roll a D6, and if you get a 5 or 6, then you get to keep your determination point.
Big money, no whammies.
Big money, no Emmys.
Nah, that was a 1. It was worth a shot.
Always roll the dice when you can. All right, so hopefully, we make it to the platform. Yes,
you do. So the scene cuts. The 2 landing parties have uncovered valuable information. And so we cut back aboard the Lexington in orbit as all of you were able to get back to that platform where there was one remaining shuttlecraft, then pilot back up to the ship in orbit. You now know that you've taken a sample of these chemicals causing all the burning on the oceans. That's going to be valuable for finding a way to activate an immune response. Lieutenant Commander Jitan, Dr. Jitan, you had something of a breakthrough from when you scanned the crest. Can you maybe, what was that breakthrough, and how do you think that might be valuable to find a way forward for ICOS?
Yes, I scanned the crest and determined that the biological nature of this very complex being was essentially emitting these some type of signal that was signaling to these immune cells within the ocean, allowing it to regenerate as was necessary. So with the destruction of the crest, we now have to determine how to figure out some way to send those same signals to these immune cells that still are living within the ocean today.
I can maybe jury rig. I've been playing around with the engineering about try to create critical propulsion, and one of the things I was working on is sound magnification. Maybe I can jury rig it to the specifications you were talking about to create the same type of signal.
Lieutenant Vaoret, I've seen your notes on that recently, and I think that has a lot of promise into what we're looking for right here. I would be happy to assist if you would allow it.
I have technical expertise. Would I also be able to assist if it's something that we're doing with the computers?
This will probably be complicated, so the more hands on this, the better.
With respect, Captain, I would like to take a look at your head before you begin diving into some complex engineering, but only if you will allow me to just give you a quick once-over and make sure that we have addressed your concussion appropriately.
Yeah, just get in there. Just look. Just come on. Just look at her head, Captain. Let's be sure, okay? Come on, Doc. Do what you got to do.
Although I don't think we have a lot of time, I do trust Lieutenant Vaoret and Lieutenant Dupree to get started right away. And I do think it makes sense to make sure I'm fully capable of using my brain.
Doc knows what they're about. They'll get it done. Doc, just do it. Yeah.
We'll take great care of you. We need you in tip-top shape for the incoming negotiations if we're successful in these ventures.
Thank you, Lieutenant. Lieutenant Vaoret, Lieutenant Dupree, can you get started right away on working on the machine to send out the signal? We also need a team looking at the chemical sample to see if we can find a way to reverse its effects or something of that nature. Commander Reiter, can you get a team assembled for that task?
I am on it. People look up to me as a teacher and advisor. So even with my less than stellar science stuff, I got it, Cap. It's don't even think about it, already done.
Thank you.
Commander, if we can offer any of our medical staff for looking at this from a biological perspective, please don't hesitate to reach out.
Two of your best people, although actually, yeah, you got a lot of best people, I'm guessing, right?
I do have an excellent staff.
I bet you do. I know you do. Give me two of them. That'll be great.
Will do. And I send a communication immediately to alert those two and to duty.
Right, that was perfect, everybody. I love the way you divided out the jobs and gave the orders, and that's going to make this really simple. So this is going to be what the game refers to, the mechanics refer to as an extended task, is you all have to work together to provide a piece of the puzzle that's going to allow you to use the ship's deflector dish to send a signal that will activate this immune response. As all of you set about, as the ship starts buzzing with activity, as you set about this very important task, there is going to be a complication. I'm going to spend some threat, actually my remaining threat, as sensor readings and alerts start going off on the bridge, as the Lokari start launching enormous amounts of these missiles carrying the sea-burning chemical into the oceans. And these fires are starting to spread rapidly. And so this is going to be an extended task, and every time you attempt a task, it's going to take some time, which allows for another 10% of the ship's oceans to be burned. So time is of the essence here as these missiles start streaking through the skies of Icos.
Well,
so,
shit, okay.
Yeah, the first task, and this will be for Commander Reiter to be in control of, because this task was assigned to you to analyze the chemical sample.
Okay.
Getting to the bottom of this chemical sample is going to allow you to filter out that interference when you eventually send the signal to activate the immune response. So what can Commander Reiter do to figure this out, to analyze this?
Well, I'm going to spend my
sample?
determination point on this, for sure. I am going again with teacher and advisor. I am going to keep, we have different people on this we've got, different people from different, like, what do I want to say? Teams? Is that the right word? Space talk.
Specializations, science teams.
Thank you. What are words? We've got different people from different specializations. Some of them, even over these 5 years, they probably shared a coffee and a whatever, but they haven't necessarily worked in this kind of time crunch. So I am going to basically buoy them up again. We're on water. It's a water planet, and even though I am not the science person at all, I am their biggest cheerleader, and I'm going to keep them on target and on task. So I'm going to spend my determination point to get this crack team of people who can do this to do it.
Okay, that's perfect. So that's going to be a presence plus command roll, as you are keeping the science team on task to analyze this chemical sample, which is the first step in this extended task. This is this is a difficulty 4 task. This is hard, but you just spent your determination. So it's now a difficulty 2 task. You also have 2 points of momentum at your disposal.
Okay.
You can also pay me threat to get extra dice.
Oh man, you just said the magic word. I can pay you a threat, you said, right? Mm-hmm. And who does the threat go to?
Me. That's what I use to make your lives more interesting. I currently don't have any. I've spent all the threat.
Oh, no. I understand that, Mr. GM. Sir, what I mean is, if I do that, where does the threat go to? This is me pointing to everyone who's not you. Oh, you're not going to tell me?
I don't think it's an immediate thing. I think it's just he gets a point back.
I will pay you a threat. I'm happy.
Okay. So you now have. Want to pay me 1 threat for one extra die?
Yes.
Okay.
So that gives me how many then? I believe that's 4, correct?
Did you buy one with momentum as well?
I'm going to take a momentum point. I am.
Okay. Then yes, you've got 4 dice. You need 2 successes. Presence plus command.
Okay. Okay. All right. That is 12. So I have 4 successes. I have a 1. I have a 3. I have a 2, and I have a 10.
Well done.
Well, these dice were in the dice jail. I got a new dice jail for the holidays, and I put some in there, and they're I think they might be ready to do penance. Although,
yes,
yeah.
Well done, Commander Reiter. Yeah,
quick question: the 1 would also count as 2 successes, would it not? Because that was
right.
So it would have been 5 total.
5.
So then we get momentum.
Yes, you needed 2 successes. You got 5, so you generate 3 points of momentum. You now have 4 momentum in your bank. Okay, on an extended task, you've sort of cleared the first hurdle, but now we need to determine how successful you were. So you just use your command discipline, which is a 3. So add 2 to that, you get 5. I want you to roll 5 d6s and tell me what you get on them.
Yeah. All right. 5 D6s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Oh, this is what I knew. There was math that's going to happen.
I'll handle the math if you want me to.
That's great. I might actually be able to do this rudimentary stuff. 2 plus 2 is 4 plus 6 is 10 plus 3 plus 5 is 18.
So get rid of, this is where the kind of proprietary challenge dice come in. Get rid of the 3s and 4s. Just discard them.
I have 1 3.
Okay. So how many 1s did you get?
Wait, none. Wait, with the D6?
Yep, on your D6.
Oh, I have, okay. I have no 1s. I have 2
2s. Okay. Then how many 5s and 6s?
I have 1 5.
Okay.
And I have 1 6.
Okay. So that does a total of 6 points off the work track. So that is a breakthrough. Don't even worry about it. I will handle that.
Great.
But the moral of the story is that was a breakthrough. So you are able to filter out the chemical interference in the atmosphere. That was about as well as that could have gone for you. So well done, Commander Reiter. The next step in the extended task, you're going to need
GM, Captain Moore has.
I was just gonna say for Gogo and like the viewers. So my understanding is that when you roll the D6s, you're not adding them. You're just looking at like what numbers you got. And like 1 is 1 and 2 is 2. And then 5 and 6 go towards effects, but 3 and 4 are like blank sided. Like imagine if they were blank sided dice.
Yes.
That is correct. Because I told you I did not listen when we were talking about math because I knew we would bring it up later. And that is also very helpful to not only remind me, who has already forgotten whatever you just said, and also for our viewers.
So Modiphius makes these price-to-own challenge dice, which are special to this game that handle this for you. But you can use regular 6-sided dice if you just sort of know how to read them. So,
but those are snazzy.
They're pretty snazzy.
We're all dice goblins here. We're all dice goblins. So.
Commander Reiter achieves the first breakthrough. You're going to need 3 breakthroughs. But 10%, another 10% of the ocean is burning now. So you started out about 40%, if you remember me saying that. Mm-hmm. Now about half the oceans are on fire on Icos, but you've achieved your first of 3 breakthroughs. The second one, you're going to need a science or medicine team to identify the electromagnetic frequency necessary to activate the immune cells in the ocean.
Well, I have a 4 in both science and medicine, so I am happy to take the lead there. If there's no one else that is better suited.
So one of you can take the lead, and one can assist as well.
Oh, cool.
I think that would be. Isn't that Lieutenant Jitan?
I'll assist.
Okay.
Great.
Cool.
Thank you, Lieutenant.
You've got Lieutenant Commander Jitan and Doctor Jitan and Lieutenant Jitan in another science lab, working to isolate this frequency. So this is going. So the difficulty actually lowers every time you get a breakthrough. So this is going to be a difficulty 3 roll. Lieutenant Commander Jitan, you can use reason plus medicine, and Jitan, you can use reason plus science. And Jitan, you're only going to be rolling 1d20 because you're assisting. It's a difficulty 3 task. You need 3 successes between the 2 of you, and you've got 4 points of momentum at your disposal should you choose to spend them.
Okay. So my target number is going to be a 14. I think I'm going to use 1 momentum since we have 4. So that will be 3 total, and then to Pren's 1. I think.
I'm trying to see if this would be a time to use my determination, because my values would be thorough and analytical, and I would like to that this is a time to use that to be hyper focused and be able to like just this is what we need to do. This is how we focus. How do we fix this? Let's go.
Yeah, I think that sounds great if you choose to do so.
Yeah, I think I would like to do that.
Okay. Do we still want to spend a motivation on the chance that we might recoup it?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so then I will roll 3 d20s and then to Pren your single d20. So let's go.
And it was reason and science?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. So I got a 4, a 12, and a 13.
I got a
So
7, which was under mine.
Okay.
Okay, so T'Pren, you got your success plus your determination, so a total of 3. And then how many successes did Jitan get?
I also had 3 successes.
Okay, 6. And you needed 3. So you generate 3 points of momentum.
Nice.
Nice.
Good job. That's good.
Does that put us at 6 momentum right now? Or
Yeah,
It does.
6?
You now have 6 momentum. So now you need to determine just how successful you were as the two of you are working in the science lab. Lieutenant T'Pren, even though the oceans are literally burning on the planet below, you remain calm and collected, just like a Vulcan would, and remain analytical. And the two of you working together in concert are able to isolate the frequency that you need. Jitan, as the leader of this task, you used your medicine discipline, is that right?
Yes.
Okay, what is that? That is a
It is
4.
a 4.
Okay, add 2 to that. You're gonna roll 6 d6s.
All
Now,
right.
You have 6 momentum at your disposal. 1 for 1, you can buy more d6s to spend if you want to.
Do we want to spend a couple momentums?
And like take 2 maybe? We'll still we'll still have 4.
Yeah, so let's roll 8 d6.
You can each roll 4. How about that?
We're each rolling 46.
Oh, sure.
Right.
That's
Yes?
great.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. That totally works.
Ah.
All right.
Ooh.
So I got
That
2
sounds
2s, a 6, and a 4. So disregard that one.
So 2 2s and a 6, so a total of 5.
I got 2 6s, a 5, and a 2.
2 6s, a 5, and a 2. Okay.
That sounds good. Obviously, I still don't quite know how this rolling of the 6.
I just know that 3 and 4s disappeared. I didn't get any
Yes.
of those, so I'm assuming this is decent.
I'm crunching the numbers for you. Don't worry about it. Okay. So you definitely got your second breakthrough, and you're actually on the verge of getting a third. But so you achieve your second breakthrough. So you now have the interference filtered out, and you know the frequency you need to use. The last task in this extended task is going to program the deflector dish to activate this signal. And this will, of course, fall to the engineering staff.
Excellent.
So it will be a reason plus engineering roll with a difficulty of 2. And Lieutenant Commander Vaoret will lead. And if someone else wants to assist, one other person can assist.
Captain, are you assisting?
Can I walk down to the engineering bay to assist? And I'm going to say to Lieutenant every time Vaoret, I trust that you know what we're doing. I'm here to assist in whatever you need.
Of course, Captain. I trust your skills. So as I'm doing this, I'm realizing I'm sort of doing something pretty new. So I'm going to use the value throughout the notebook, throughout the handbook, and write my own. And I'm hoping if I could use that as my determination to make this successful.
Yeah, what sort of innovative or sort of crazy strategy are you employing that would not be included in the Starfleet manual here?
Well, it looks like the way my character's understanding is that I'm pretty much acting. My biology is not my character's forte. You know, I understand machines, so I'm looking at this as I'm part of a cell. The planet is a living organism, and I am gonna play. You know, just like we do with humanoids. We if they lose something, we can replace it with a robotic part. That's how I'm looking at this. I'm gonna go in. We're gonna replace it with a machine part, So I see that it needs some sort of sonar application that's going to heal the waters. So I'm taking what we have for us a deflector dish, using a little bit of some of my warp know-how, and I'm just going to push a signal straight into the planet and then see if this causes some healing.
You got it. Yeah, treating this planet like a big interconnected machine is exactly the approach you need to be taking. So yes, your determination absolutely applies here. So that gives you an automatic 2 successes, and you can roll whatever dice you would like to with 4 momentum.
Okay. What would be the attributes and disciplines for this?
It's going to be reason. You can use reason or daring plus engineering.
All right, we'll use reason and engineering 15.
Okay. And Captain Moore, how are you assisting?
I just asked the lieutenant how what he needs for assistance.
Okay. Then you should also use reason plus engineering for your role, Captain Moore.
Yeah, I mentioned things like math and new programs need to be made.
Okay.
All right. I made both my rolls. No ones though.
Okay, so two additional successes. So you're at 4.
I didn't get any successes.
Okay, so you got 4. You needed 2. So you generate 2 points of momentum as you fire up the deflector dish, and it starts emitting this strange signal. It sounds almost like whale song. You've never heard anything quite like it. And so, Lieutenant Commander Vaoret, what is your engineering discipline?
Engineering discipline?
Mm-hmm.
You mean like my focuses, or
under your discipline? Your engineering. What number is next to it? I guess I can.
Oh, engineering. I'm sorry, 4.
4. Okay, so you're gonna roll 6. You start out with 6 d6s. You can buy additional ones if you like. I'm gonna tell you right now, you don't need that many, but you've got 6 momentum to buy additional ones if you want to.
2. Would that be fair? All right, so 8 d6s.
Yep.
All right. I actually have 4 of the dice, the special dice from Modiphius.
Woo! Look at you.
Could I just roll them twice and let you know what I have? Okay.
Yep.
All right. The first 4, 2 blanks and 2 star symbols.
Okay, got it.
All right, and I'm rolling again. All right, 2 blanks and 2 what do you call it? The Star
Federation symbols. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, got it. Okay, so you get the breakthrough you need. You actually also filled up the work track, which is a 4th breakthrough, but you didn't need it. But the deflector dish comes to life with a strange whale song, and it sends the signal almost like a flashlight or a spotlight directly into the middle of the oceans. And you're not on Icos, but if you were, you could feel the ground start to vibrate as the crest comes back to life and floats back up to the surface of the ocean and immediately starts pumping out these immune cells that start to push the infernos back and extinguish the flames, burning the planet.
Yeah.
What is the response among the crew of the Lexington?
Commander Reiter's like, yeah, we did it. Yeah, we did. And he's bad like white human dancing.
I'm just gonna pat Lieutenant Vaoret on the back to be like, I knew you could do it.
I say, just another Tuesday for me.
I'm going to address the captain and say, Captain, we now should probably head back to the planet's surface to begin negotiating peace talks.
Yes. The immediate threat is gone, so we now need to complete the second part of the task. Commander Reiter, I'm going to leave you in command up here. I'm going to take down Commander Lieutenant Jitan and Lieutenant Dupreen to help with negotiations. Are we all good with that?
I'll stay behind, make sure that this signal is working in tip-top shape.
Thank you, Lieutenant.
All right, if anything gets squirrely, Kat, just call me down.
I know who to call.
Before we go, can I use the ship's sensors to scan again to see if that interference is dampening at all now that the crest is working again, so we can use our communicators back to the ship?
Yeah, Lieutenant Dupreen, if you'd like to make a sensor scan, just give me a reason plus science roll, difficulty 1.
11, so it's 15. That is our D20. I just rolled this one twice. Oh. Ooh, I got one success. I got 13.
Okay, so yeah, you see that there is still the interference is lessening, but it's going to take it a little while for the planet to really kind of heal itself and all of the interference in the atmosphere to completely dissipate. But you think that although maybe transporters are still a little iffy, you can get a signal through for communication.
Right. We should be able to communicate safely now that this is starting to be dampened.
Excellent work, Lieutenant.
Great job, Dupreen. You know, you're really no fun at beer pong, but you always do get the job done.
Thank you, Commander.
Commander, are you sure that you don't need your head examined as well? Did you hit your head too?
Doc, knock, knock. I don't know, Doc. You're always welcome to, you know.
Well, we'll schedule you for a physical shortly.
Oh, I'm ready, Doc. You're welcome to see what's shaking around in this old noodle.
So there is a hail from the planet's surface.
Okay. Accept the call. I don't know. I'm not good with this lingo. What the cool kids say. I accept the call.
Appearing on the view screen on the bridge of the Lexington is Ayal, the speaker of the crest, who is overcome with gratitude for the help that Starfleet has provided. You've saved my people. Thank you, Captain Moore.
You're welcome. We now need to start negotiations for peace.
Yes, as a matter of fact, it's funny how this worked out, but the moment that the sea burners started to turn back, the Chancellor of the Lokari contacted me and said he would be willing to talk, which has not happened in months.
Would you like us to come down and facilitate the talks, or would you like us to bring both of you aboard the ship?
Using the ship as a neutral site might actually be more conducive to successful talks.
I understand. We will prepare a conference room and beam you up shortly.
Very good. Is there anything you would like to do to prepare for this meeting, or do you want to just cut to the next scene? It's a question for everyone.
I'm gonna set my phasers to stun.
I was going to say something equally ridiculous. It was going to be like, can we research what types of snacks they would enjoy to be ready at the conference room? I feel like she would be hospitable.
We need the right type of charcuterie board to be.
Yes, exactly. Yes, like
yeah, you
can't
gotta
just broker peace with no snacks. That's ridiculous. Maybe the most ridiculous thing that happened in this whole episode.
Serve locks? Do we not serve locks? You know.
Okay. So,
what's the protocol here? You know.
Okay. So I'm gonna. But yes. Lieutenant Dupreen, right? She would be who I would ask. Well. No, it wouldn't be. It would be Lieutenant Jitan because of her extensive knowledge of different cultures. Do you know of any things that we would make all of our guests more comfortable and more willing to talk peace, snacks, different things? I'd like those, if we can, prepared and brought to the conference room, if that's possible.
Yes. So I would suppose, I was just thinking I have something on my studious talent, which is where you're performing research. You spend 1 or more momentum to obtain information. I might ask an additional question. So could I do that at this time? I know we've got enough momentum that I could spend a momentum to gather information and just see if this is something that I have come across in my travels or in my research, my databases.
Yeah, ordinarily that would require a task, but I don't think that's necessary. If you spend a momentum, you've got 4. Spend 1 of your momentum, and I'll let you make up whatever you think would be the most hospitable sort of environment for these approaching dignitaries.
Okay, great. So we will have snacks aplenty and beverages, and I even will, like, as a botanist, I will select a clipping from a plant that maybe is able to live underwater that I think would be a symbol of lasting peace, and so I've got it all laid out.
What kind of plant would you think would be appropriate?
Maybe it's maybe it's a type of kelp or something.
That's what I was thinking. Fluorescent kelp. My brain was
yes. Okay, bioluminescent kelp. That's what we're gonna make as an offering to these two.
It just needs a little spritz every now and again. Keep it going.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's perfect. So you set up the conference room with this kelp that's giving off this radiant glow, giving kind of a shimmer to the room. I love that. That's great. Anything else?
Just making sure the space is set up kind of separate. We are setting up for peace talks. Peace is not there yet. We don't want you too close. So it's not very clearly like opposing sides, but just set up for everyone can have their seat, but we're not in each other's space until we choose to be.
Captain is going to facilitate, which means I'm standing behind to the side of Captain's right shoulder. In a way that I can very easily get to the door if I need to.
I was gonna be like jotting down some maybe things that they might be able to agree on in case they don't come with ideas, because we don't want this to be like a WWE pay-per-view signing where it all goes astray. Y'all know.
I mean, Commander Reiter wouldn't be opposed to that.
I'm just saying, like, it always goes astray. So like just kind of like sitting and thinking back to other treaties and things that we have helped people negotiate in the past, or aliens negotiate in the past, and different beings, and kind of jotting down some ideas if in case they don't come with any things to the table. Is that okay?
Yeah, Commander Reiter is basically knows where he'll be during the discussion. In the meantime, in case things do go sideways, Commander Reiter is going to a few trusted folks of his, just make sure they're ready, and we have make sure that we have non-lethal suppression stuff there, including, if I may, that there's something that Commander Reiter had worked on where it almost shoots out like a fire extinguisher. I know I've seen this in a comic book, so it's not exactly my idea, but it just kind of coats the person and it just weighs them down, and so all they can does that make sense?
Yeah.
So if we absolutely need to, if somebody's like, I'm going to storm out of the room, it's like, no, you're not.
It's the thing from Judge Dredd. One of those movies. The three shells.
I know this is not
that.
Idea. I know they used it in an episode of Venture Brothers. I just remembered that.
Oh, my brain's definitely a 90s movie.
But again, I think it's this. Again, this is not a. We've got that on hand.
Awesome. So I love what you've come up with. You've got a security team on hand. You've done some studying up of Starfleet diplomatic protocols, and then the bioluminescent kelp. That's going to give you an advantage during this negotiation. Originally, it was going to be a difficulty 5 persuasion task to get the Chancellor to agree to everything you want. That's going to be difficulty 4. The persuasion task is going to be difficulty 2 to at least get some kind of concessions from this chancellor. So we cut to the conference room, and on one end you've got Ayal, who is this almost like the color of like a dolphin, and these whale-like eyes, and moves very gracefully. But Ayal, they're wearing sort of like an EV, an environmental suit that keeps their skin wet all the time, and they're actually breathing through this sort of watery EV suit. On the other end of the table is the Lokari Chancellor, who is shaped roughly the same way, but their skin is covered in sort of this solid, calcified, chalky substance. It's sort of almost like a hard exoskeleton. And the Chancellor storms in and glares directly at Captain Moore and said, "How dare you interfere with our internal politics?"
As you well know, it is Starfleet's job to keep peace amongst the solar system.
Well, you were not invited here.
Did you not agree to have these peace talks?
You get the sense that the Chancellor would have never agreed to these talks, except that his whole plan is now evaporating with the rest of his sea burners. And so he feels that his hand has been forced. And so he's come to the table, but it's going to depend on how good of an argument you make to convince him to pursue peace at this point. So all of you can kind of get in on this as the negotiations begin. What sort of negotiation strategies do you employ to get this Chancellor to see things your way?
I'm going to start off with, so I'm just going to try to like role play it out. Chancellor, I would like to give you the opportunity to go first with what are your ideas for the planet? What did you hope to accomplish by setting fire to the ocean?
Ayal and her people pursue a way of life that results only in disorder, in chaos. The Lokari seek order, permanence.
So was your intention to eradicate?
To eradicate enough of the oceans to make sure that the Ayal and her people would no longer be able to sow the kind of disorder that they have been for millennia.
Captain, if I may, you are looking for order, yes? And your people currently have order?
Not with our sea burners disabled.
So you are not looking for order, you are looking to force order upon others? Because you currently have order, correct? You do not live as Ayal and her people live.
That is perhaps how you see it.
And if you cannot have order, what then?
We cannot leave. So then I
Why not?
suppose
Why not?
the Icosa and the Lokari cannot spend a lengthy period of time away from our planet. It is fatal to us.
If you were gonna boil all the oceans, how is your planet gonna exist? You're taking literally all of your natural resources and burning them because you don't like how other people do things. That's just dumb, man.
So you see that causes a change in the Chancellor, and he says, "We would have figured out that obstacle when we came to it." But you can tell that he didn't really have a good answer for you there.
You might not have had time at that point because you would, in your haste to push order, you would have created the disorder that would have ended your planet.
We would have relied on our own innovation, our own innovative spirit, as we always have.
All right. Well, if you have that innovative spirit, how can we broker peace? You are innovative, correct? What would you need to stop attacking Ayala and her people.
Not just that, the whole world. I can't live on another world. Let me burn the world I'm on.
Captain Moore is gonna put their hand on his shoulder and just like lean and whisper and be like, it's probably not a good idea to like insult them right now. I think we're like onto something. I think just hold it back just a little bit. Just a little bit.
And I say, I got you.
So you presented compelling evidence to the Chancellor that their course of action was really only going to take the planet down the path of mutually assured destruction. So the persuasion task has been dropped from a 4 to a 3 to get the two parties to reconcile. It's now difficulty 1 to at least get them to agree to a peace, a separate peace. And that's about as good odds as you're going to get from this Chancellor. So now it's time this is what they call it in the rules, the persuasion task, where you're going to have to roll some dice. You can sort of figure out for yourself what this persuasion task is. There's no one way to do it. How do you drive your argument home here?
When you say do we use it, or are we using an attribute or discipline to drive this home?
Yes, any combination of attribute and discipline that's appropriate to however you sort of end this, how you mediate this conflict.
I personally would use my reason and my command, just because of who I am. I am analytical, and that's how my brain works. I'm not trying to blame anyone. I'm just coming into this with straight facts. If you continue to do this, you will die. So we need to make sure that neither you nor they die. How do we fix that?
I'm taking a back seat on this one, especially since Captain just asked me to stand down. But again, I do have teacher and advisor, but I'm gonna and I've got a 3 for command, but my argument would basically be the same as Lieutenant to Friends. So but I'm kind of holding back. Lieutenant Commander, is it Vaoret? I don't want you to get blustery, but of course you don't have to.
Yeah, I was actually looking at maybe presence and either science or medicine for a potential role, just because it's like, basically Jitan would be coming at it from the perspective of, again, being the student of other cultures and wanting, just reiterating just how special this particular culture and, how unique it is, and try to inspire that same sense of belonging and worthiness in these two peoples, to see if they will, to like appeal to that emotional connection to their planet and why it's worth saving.
I would use reason and science, not command. I just wanted to clarify that. It would be more reason and science for how I'm approaching this.
In that sense, I see what you're asking. I don't think I answered that correctly before. I would use presence and command.
It's up to all of you to decide, but one of you needs to make the task, but it's your call.
All right.
Oh, not me.
How much would it just be one singular role?
Oh, wow, we went through all that. We didn't need to.
I would say that Lieutenant Dupree, since you have spoken the most in the negotiation, that it would make, and you have good reasoning that it would make the most sense thematically and role playing wise that you would make the role. But that's just like, that's like out of character. Doesn't make sense. What'd you say?
I said I'm so scared that my dice are going to be mean, but I am very willing to make this roll.
It's okay. That's part of the fun.
So you've got three momentum at your disposal. You need 1 success to get at least a temporary peace. 3 successes will convince the Chancellor to reunify these two factions.
You have 3 momentum?
Yeah, which would buy you 2 additional dice.
I don't want to use all of them.
Use them.
I feel like you should do it. I think you should go for it.
Let's
Go big or go
All of them.
home. Literally home to the
Literally
Starfleet where
home.
we get our ship taken from us.
So how many would I be rolling now?
Rolling 4 dice. 4 d20s.
And I'm using my science. Come on. Ooh. Well, those are all successes, which is nice. 2 3s, a 7, and a 12, and I was trying to get under a 15.
All right. So you needed so that's beyond even the best outcome you could have hoped for, and you generate a point of momentum as the Chancellor looks frustrated for a moment, and he slams his hand down on the table, and he looks at T'Pren, and he says, "Curse your logic. But you're right. We have been going down a path of mutually assured destruction. Ayal, let's put this conflict to rest."
We did it. We did it. We brokered peace. We did it.
In character, just want to not apologize, but give condolences to Ayal for the loss of our guide. And also ask, what was that?
We appreciate your kindness and sympathy. There are mysteries in the deep of Icos's oceans that we do not wish to divulge. But thank you. Your help has been, we literally cannot thank you enough for saving our people and our planet.
I imagine that they would be going back, right? Because we did the peace thing. I have an out of character question. When we did the thing where we made the signal, it brought the reef, what was it called? The crest back to life, right? We don't have to make a machine that stays here and keeps putting out the signal anymore. Okay.
Oh, but how cool would it be if the Lexington had to continue to do that? And so therefore the Lexington had to stay on the planet to help keep the planet alive. And then the Lexington wouldn't actually be decommissioned. She'd be important to the survival of the planet.
Are you saying that's something that Commander Vaoret has jury-rigged on our ship would be necessary to keep the Lexington?
I might tell Commander Vaoret that I'm buying for the rest of his life, which actually I can't do that because I don't know how long your species lives.
Decent chunk of time.
Yeah, if he would make the Lexington and be something that it's almost like the crest just needs.
It needs to be checked up on, and only this ship has been commissioned to take care of what the crest needs.
Yeah, if that's okay with the rest of the crew.
So back in Captain's log. Stardate. They leave, and then I'm gonna call a meeting for the entire crew of the ship, and basically explain that thank you all for receiving this message and making the time to hear it. After this moment, our ship is supposed to be decommissioned. However, we may have found a reason for it to stay in orbit around this planet. Before I make that contact, I would like for anyone who would like to stay aboard the ship, even in this orbit, to contact me privately or in person. And when we have accounted for everyone, then we will make that decision. Anyone who would like to return home to Starfleet and go on another ship for more adventures, I completely understand, and I want to support you and the vision for your families. Please also make that contact, as I will make any of you a recommendation. The time is of the essence, so please contact me within the hour. Thank you, Captain Moore. And then I sign off.
I'm getting schmaltzy. This is a whole. Oh my god!
Okay. So I just sit in my office, my quarters, taking emails, I guess, and kind of walking around and counting up, keeping kind of tallies of like who I need to write recommendations for, who would like to stay on the ship before I make this contact to Starfleet about possibly leaving the ship in orbit to help sustain the planet. Does that make sense, what I said?
Yeah, absolutely. Captain Moore, after a moment of leadership like that, I'm certain that none of the crew would be asking for transfers after that.
Thank you.
Commander Reiter is going to be sticking with Captain, and if they even try to split Reiter up from Captain on the next vessel, I don't know. Something is going to happen. I'm not making any threats. I'm just saying.
Anyone else? Any other? So this is where we kind of resolve the B plot. Any of your characters thinking they might want a life beyond the Lexington?
Oh no, I'm staying. I got too many notes to fill out and things I made. I gotta write logs, information for, and the progress I've made on these engines. No, I want to stay here for the long haul.
Wait. Are we deciding we're staying on the Lexington, or are we just deciding we're staying together?
So the only thing that makes logical sense right now is if they keep the Lexington a thing, that that just means that they're not decommissioning the ship. So if you agree to stay in the crew on the Lexington, that just means that you will no longer be adventuring. You're going to be orbiting this planet, helping it sustain it, but you would be with the people who chose to stay and do that task.
What's the captain doing?
What'd you say? Well, I mean, I'm obviously like staying. Like this is, I'm a career-long captain. I've had my run. My whole family has been in Starfleet, and this is my ship with my crew. So.
Oh. All right. Well, for now, I'm staying with Captain because Commander Reiter honestly is the type that's like, this is an adventure, and hey, I'm still gonna get that leave to go dive into that volcano. It's good. I'm not leaving Cap just yet.
I think that Lieutenant Commander Jitan is probably a little conflicted because they have siblings that they basically have not talked to since they joined the Lexington, and it's like I don't know who I might like, if there was somebody that I could maybe like go to and like have a conversation with them about, but like I don't know, I feel like Jitan is maybe a little bit up in the air. It's like, is this something, it's like having a moment, a dark night of the soul, like do I stay or do I just go on to something else? I don't know.
As the captain of the ship, am I allowed to extend Lieutenant Jitan temporary leave from the ship to visit family if they just agreed to come back on, like as the chief medical officer when they return?
Captain's prerogative.
Oh,
okay. So I guess if we're having this conversation, that's what I'm telling you. Like, I understand the need for family. I do. So if you need to take a leave of absence, I will move your second into command temporarily into your position with the hopes that you'll return to the ship. But please do not feel any obligation to do so, even though I want you to stay.
Well, thank you very much, Captain, and your confidence in my abilities as Chief Medical Officer do not go unappreciated. So thank you.
You're welcome.
T'Pren is kind of in the same place. The captain gave her a chance because she is very young, but the captain did choose her for the ship. At the same point, she still wants to adventure and learn, study.
So are we talking now, me and you?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Lieutenant T'Pren,
Captain,
you are one of the most talented young officers I have seen in my time in the Starfleet. As I selfishly want to keep you aboard my ship and under my command, I think you are destined for greater things. I'm happy to write you a captain's recommendation, if you so choose, that's the path that you'd like to take. But friend to friend and not captain to lieutenant, you're too young to live on this ship the rest of your life. You have a lot of adventuring left in you.
Thank you, Captain. I will take that recommendation. And friend to friend, thank you for giving me this opportunity.
Thank you for taking it. I'll have it to you before day's end.
Damn, T'Pren, I'm gonna miss you in those long-eyed, dead-eyed stares. You all come back now, you hear?
I will miss you, Commander Reiter, and your recklessness. Please be here when I return for a visit. All of you.
All right, so that's our adventure.
One more short scene, if that's all right.
Sure, yeah, please.
Okay, so on the bridge of the Lexington, there is a hail from Starfleet Command, and on the view screen appears Captain or Admiral James T. Kirk, who says, "Captain Moore, I've read your report, and it looks like you and your crew achieved all of the mission objectives. I want to thank you for that. I want to thank you for righting a wrong that was left behind by my ship, by the Enterprise. And it sounds like you are of the belief that the Lexington's continued presence in orbit on Icos is valuable for the time being. Is that correct?"
That's correct, Admiral Kirk. At this time, we're not sure that the planet will be able to sustain itself without the engineering of Lieutenant Vaoret's sonar system that is keeping the reef and the planet sustainable.
And you see Kirk kind of smirk knowingly at you, and he says, "Captain, I am for now the Chief of Starfleet Operations, and I agree with your assessment, so I will indefinitely delay the decommissioning of the Lexington. And just as one former captain to a current one, don't ever let them do anything to take you off the bridge of that starship. Kirk out."
Nice!
Roll credits.
Wow!
Ow. Wow, and I didn't think I had this serious character in me, but I think I did it.
I wasn't expecting emotions today.
I was moved.
That was so fun.
Yeah,
that was well done. Okay. Well, Fred, goodness, look at me. I'm actually crying. Sorry, but I am such a schmaltz, so that is a thing. Well, that was Dancing Dice Theater does Star Trek Adventures. Who knew that was going to go that way? So as we wrap up, the Lexington is not being decommissioned, and for what we know now, some of us are staying aboard, some may go off. Is this the last time you will, seriously, there was a tear. Is this the last time you'll see this crew? Hopefully not. Will Lieutenant T'Pren truly leave us for good? Well, guess what? I believe we might have talked the incredible Fred Love into coming back and giving these characters another spin. So we hope that you enjoyed our adventure, and you know what? Let's welcome Fred back another time. Make sure you hit that, yes, oh, fingers. There we go. Of course, you slam that subscribe button. We're going to go around now, and everyone's going to let you know how to keep in touch with them through the magic of the internet and all that other stuff. I am your host, Gogo Incognito, and again, you can find me on the interwebs at Gogo Incognito. Example, Instagram, that's Gogo_Incognito. Fred, please tell us how to find you in the web and all the places.
Yeah, the best way is probably on Twitter. I'm always talking about RPGs and Star Trek are definitely the two most discussed topics. You can find me at Trek, TREK_lug, LUG. Thanks everybody for having me. I really had a blast.
That's wonderful. Okay, May, stellar job as Captain Moore. Wow. Big round of applause. All right, May, make sure that everyone knows how to find you outside of the show.
Thank you, everyone. I was May Beasley. You can find me on Instagram at AmeriTrashTalk, just like right there, and on TikTok as at AmeriTrashTalk_May. And don't let anybody take you off the bridge of your starship.
Nice. All right, let's go over to Danny, aka Lieutenant Commander. Tell people how to find you, and please show off those gorgeous nails I know you've been working on.
I don't. Oh, hi. These are my nails. I'm
They look
really
good.
excited about them. Thank you. As of right now, the best place to find me is going to be right here with Dance and Dice Theater. If that changes, I will let you all know. But I had a blast playing Lieutenant Commander, and I can't wait for the next time.
That was great. And over to our guest for today, Ava Dahl. Welcome. You rocked it. You were so good.
You're amazing.
Thank you. Thank you
so much for joining us. Please let everyone know how to find you.
Absolutely. Well, I had an absolute blast joining you all today. And if you would like to keep in touch, you can find me on Instagram under the name The Ava Dahl. That's AVADAHL. And you can also find me on Twitter as just Ava Dahl.
Thank you, Ava. And finally, over to the boss man, my dear, dear friend and partner, Manny. Please let everyone know how to find you in all the places with all the things.
It's very easy. It's reallyDicey.com or nerdcaliber.com.
And of course, make sure you'll be able to see the show on Really Dicey or at Nerd Caliber. So wherever you're watching this, please like and subscribe. Feel free to leave us a comment and go make sure you follow all these wonderful people right now. We'll be back with another adventure before you know it.